interception.
What a remarkable drive, man. That's an All-American drive right here.
It's not exactly unwarranted. Like, when you have a guy as that electric.
The legend himself, the GOAT, Dre Crowell.
Where my warm bottle movement at?
That kills your argument right there. Anything can happen. This game is not over.
What's good, Relocation Football League fans? It's your boy Smitty. Sorry for the delay. Had a little bit of technical difficulties. Also wanted to make sure we had everything set up straight. And you guys already know, showed off the webcams during the draft. And we are now trying to make it something part of the podcast, as you guys can see right now. So we got Bill and Rob here with me. How you guys doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Doing
Glad
good.
the draft is over.
Yeah, so
that was long.
a long process. You guys see a box up here to the top left. That's going to be where the topics are going to be in the future. Unfortunately, could not have something for that area. We are going to also change up this scenery too to make the boxes a little bit bigger, because you see we're a little bit small here at the bottom. So we'll extend that and everything. And yeah, so this is pretty much how it's going to look in the podcast now. You guys will be able to see our reactions or true reactions to things. Our topics of what we're talking about is going to be at this top right middle box. And first question I want to ask to start off this podcast: what is you guys' overall thoughts on this past draft? How do you feel afterwards, and just everything you want to say about the draft heading up into this podcast?
And it's been a really long time coming, and I know that the new RFL players, past prospects, were just nipping at the ankles to get into this thing. And it was a great presentation. I was really happy to be able to do it. A lot of work went into it, but for good reason. And I think it turned out really well. A lot of teams got better, and a lot of new faces coming into the league. So I was great thing. I think it was the best thing we did so far this year.
Yeah, it started to become one of my favorite times of the year, leading into the college series. I think, I love the RFL. Nothing beats those games, no matter what. But it's just when you see people and see the storylines of members come into the league, and they're not even on the field yet. They're just in a Discord, and you get to know their personalities, and then you see them go through the college series, and they get the ups and the downs, and they get blown out by 50 or they win by 50, and then you see them, finally get to the stage and everything, man, and get drafted to a team. It's just a big deal, man. It's just a great feeling. Kind of envious. I've never had that feeling ever in one of these leagues before to get drafted, but it's just great just seeing these guys, man, actually get excited over this, man. So just a real unique feeling, man. So really happy.
Yeah, really exciting draft. And like I said, even during the draft, I felt like that was hands down the best presentation we've had. And, the RFL continues to get better and better, and it's going to continue to. And I've seen a lot of people typing in Discord talking about, this is the turning point of the RFL, really, to where it's really going to expand, because this was the type of draft class, we were talking about coming into the RFL, in the past, about the time where you guys got here, back since season 4. And we finally got this big class. This was the biggest class at that point that came in. I know we're pretty high right now, about the same amount of numbers of guys there, but the activity of most of these guys to get drafted and everything like that, it's special for this league. And just to see that happen, and these guys coming in, where they're drafted to, and the coaches, I think we've done a great job of also making our coaches more more serious. We still got them things to work on, but we could definitely tell the difference in our staff. And just know, I forgot that I forgot to put in the bell here for this, so I'm gonna tell you guys right now, no bell, man. But man, let me see if I can grab it real fast. Matter of fact,
I'm
gonna see
that's
if
one
I
of the
can
things
put
I'm
that
looking
bell,
forward to the most, man.
the reason I brought it up is because people about to get aired out on this podcast. I'm telling you guys that right now. Oh man, I forgot.
Oh, now what'd you do?
Okay, I fixed it. It should be fixed now, hopefully. But yeah, some coaches about to get aired out in this podcast for sure. I don't know why it's not up now.
Hey, just aired out the the overlay.
Yeah, I know. Right?
I'm just chilling there by himself.
It's got my big old mug just chilling there.
Want
Man.
to do something
I
there?
left the ball.
What's happening?
Big shout out to the chat right now, man. Who we got in here? We got Markel. Got Coach back out here, Lito Loso, Michael Floda, Matthew Holman. What's going on?
I'm
Markel
not sure
says
what
Steam
just
Team.
happened, man. This is
I'll
crazy.
let you live with that Steam Team right now, Markel. That's what happens when guys have 30 players, man.
Okay, something just.
What we got
this,
here?
This is what we're
Crocodile,
talking
what's
about,
going
man.
on? KP, Noah Underhill. Big dog of them all, man. The biggest dog of them all, Jermaine Taylor, is in the house, man.
Did I see Coach back calling me the weakest link? Last time I
What's good,
remember,
Kai?
last time I saw it, I'm pretty sure my Columbus team was a little bit more successful on a regular basis than yours. So I don't know what you're talking about, me being the weakest link, bud.
Red
See,
Dragon,
I
what's going on, man?
I'm just saying, like,
Hey, Bill already coming from
I'm already
next, man.
starting. We ain't at the bell yet.
Already coming. We ain't even we went to get the bell, man. Bill done already put it down, put the smack down already, man. In the chat.
I'm just playing with you back.
Let's climb the top rope real quick, man.
Okay, I gotta fix these again. My bad, guys.
All good. All good. We got the chat here.
Boy, oh
14-2 first year, and was it a first round exit or a second round? I can't remember.
Bill started to get stats. He said, "Back, man. Not back. Don't back. Just step back. Just step back." He started. When Bill started pulling out the stats, man.
I did 14-2
Oh,
last
boy.
year too, bud, man.
Yeah,
I lost only
data.
one team.
Hey, the data don't lie. DDL, data don't lie.
What's going on, man?
Boy, oh boy.
Hold up.
Got to get some more wins, man. Be talking to Bill like that, man. I can't even talk to Bill like that.
Yo, they want to know who your
boy.
barber is, Rob.
Hey, that's the home cut, man. I said, yo, all you gotta do is get the right box up package, and there it go, man. Make sure you wash your hair first. Wash it with regular soap. Get it dry enough, and then go at it, man. Cut at it. Sharp line, man. But you got to get the Andis. You got to get the Andis clippers, man. Some of y'all got them wall clippers from Walmart, Wally World clippers, man. Those ain't gonna work. You got to get the Andis, the gray Jones, or the gold. You got to get the gold trimmer, man. The gold blade. My cats in the urban areas know what the gold blade is. Some of y'all still got the plastic joints, the plastic clippers, the ones that break as soon as you drop them. And you wonder why your box top just became a triangle. All of a sudden, man. The fade just looking terrible, man.
Rob just started up a whole roast session out here now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get you through this. You get the camera straight.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Oh man.
They won't even let me move the cameras now. Like I don't.
Yeah, Willie Nelly said he used the straight blade with the line. Yeah, I got to give my boy Frankie a bell too, Willie Nelly, man. He called you Willie Nilly. I saw it in the draft order in Discord. He said Willie Nilly. I said, that ain't his name. It's Willie Nelly. I don't know what's going on with Frankie, man. Look at Lumberjack. Yeah, Lumberjack said the Walmart clippers are trash.
All right.
Oh man.
I can't even click on. Like, what is going on here?
I don't know. We can figure it out. All good.
Never seen this.
Who else we got out here, man? We got Gonzo. Alex, what's going on, Alex? Salute to you. Leo Moon out here.
I'm just gonna have to create some new ones because this right here is crazy.
Yes. Yeah, you good.
You want to just use our voices for today, or
Nah, I want us to have these cameras and always something last minute.
you got to create a new Zoom?
Yeah. Well, no, now you got we don't have to do that, but I gotta drag our stuff in here now
Oh, okay.
individually. I have no idea why it wouldn't let me drag, and it's right there.
Fontanez. Hey, Fontanez, man, we saw you with that Pee Wee League football, man. Somebody had to say something, man. I got tired of seeing that Pee Wee League football. You keep dropping it in Discord. looking like a honey bun. I was like, what is that, man? Shout out to my boy Fontanez, man. OG, I see OG out there laughing. What's up, OG? Who OG play for again, guys? Black Knights?
Yeah.
Oh, boy,
Yeah,
OG.
yeah.
OG, I hope you don't OD on Tylenol, because you know who you got on your team, man. Shout out to my boy McCall, J Mac.
Oh my gosh, dude, bro.
Hey, if
We
I would
thought that guy talked a
go ahead.
lot.
Yeah. But look, I ain't gonna lie. McCall been quiet, man. If I would have knew that was a Robitussin from McCall to just get him on the team and he'll just settle down, man. He told me I don't have time for you and Bill. That's what he told me.
You're gonna have time during the season when he's holding that clipboard.
Yeah. He said, I don't have time for you and Bill. I got to get back to practice with Coach Carter. I said, what?
Man.
He ain't got time. Oh,
Guess might as well start this roast session. It's good. It's good. Right
man, oh man.
Oh,
What's up,
man.
Carditas?
You know how crazy this season's gonna be now with all these dudes like in the league now.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
Right.
It's gonna be
Right.
crazy.
Man. Boy, oh boy. Let's see who got Miles McCain. Congrats to everyone who got drafted in here. Big shout out to you, McCain. What's good, nation? Yeah, he got the British. Yeah, Keegan, he got the British. I don't have time for you. I started talking, Lord Fauntleroy. I don't have time for you anymore. Started drinking tea.
I don't have time
and
for
crumpets.
this foolishness today.
Right.
Chill out.
Man, oh man, he wearing one of them little funny hats.
Started changing up.
Right. Crazy, man. Heard he ain't got a bulldog, man. He got a poodle. Walking around with a poodle now, man. He royalty out here, man. What's going on with this guy? I don't have time for you and Bill. It's crazy. Who else is out here? Bocce Galupi. Curious how many human players each team has. Man, Bocce Galupi, I swear, man. He has some crazy questions. How many? All you gotta do is go to Discord, Bocce Galupi. Go to the coaches and count how many coaches we got. 32. You know it's 32 teams minus that. How many coaches? There you have it, Bocce Galupi. Man, you the mayor of LA. What in the world's going on, man? Boy, he be asking some crazy questions, man. Wonder how many computer coaches there are on the AI teams. Go ahead, count. What's 32 minus 17? Because I know it's 17 of us. Somebody do the math, man. Who in here passed the ACT? I ain't gonna say the SAT because it's simple math. Who passed the ACT? Somebody do the math right quick, man. My boy Bocce, man. Shout out to Bocce Galupi, man. Salute to you, man. What else we got here?
Rob just out here going on.
Anthony Frost said, they said I chose violence today, man. Hey, you can't give me no downtime, man. Y'all know, man. I got a little bit of ADD, man. Can't give me no downtime. Who is this? Samurai Nation. Let's go.
You know who that is?
Samurai. London Samurai. He a whole samurai. First he was a thug. Now he a whole samurai, guys. He done went to London and became a samurai. He walking around with swords in real life. He in GameStop in real life. It ain't even October yet.
He said, I don't need the horse.
He just turned into a knight. No horse. No horse. Just a knight with a sword. He don't have a sword because he told me he don't have time. I don't have time for you today, Mix. I have to have my crumpets, my tea.
Tea and crumpets.
Right. Boy, $4.99. Hey, we got to make sure that currency straight, Smitty. He said $4.99, but in London, I don't know if that's the same kind of money there. I don't know, McCall. That might be about $3.50. Boy, add another $1.50 on that thing for us, man. We want the whole $5, man. Come on, man. We want the whole $5. Straight up. Boy, try to pass over change over here, man. Come on, man.
Hey, look,
Oh, there go Darius. There go Darius Dollars. Hey, Dollars. We ain't seen a donation from Dollars in how long, y'all? And we know you just got signed to that Wizard contract. Word at? Run the loop. We need it. ASAP.
All right, I got the cams now.
All right, I'm done.
Nah, that joint's gold though. But yeah, shout out to everybody for the donations. Gonzo got the $9.99 donation, says Thunderbirds rise up. And shout out to everybody. Bill Smith. You finally get to see this. But yeah, so we already gave our thoughts. You guys get to see Rob. Y'all amped up already, ready for this podcast. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So first thing we're going to dive into is grades. So I graded in my opinion, from worst to best, who I felt had the best, worst combines. We'll start with the worst, leading up to who I felt had the best. And of course, Bill and Rob's opinions may differ, may be the same from mine. And so I will show the grade and everything else, who they took, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and start with that. Let me make sure I'm hitting the right thing here. All right, so take this out the way. So the team I felt had the worst draft, to be honest, was the San Diego Red Dragons. Gave them a D+. And you can see here, Coach Corey Davis there. First round, he didn't have a first-round draft pick. He went and got Jaquan Taylor-Luby. Felt there was a lot of other linebackers that he could have chose from that spot. And so I felt like that was a huge reach right there. And the reason why they fell so low is because I felt like they reached a lot during this draft. Willie-nilly wasn't too bad of a choice there at their second player that they picked. Chad Stevens at the time, there was also more wide receivers on the board that I felt that the Red Dragons definitely could have acquired. And then you see they picked up 64 overall running back Zachary Nowakowski. That's another reach because there was also a lot more running backs on the board at that time as well. And you got Benjamin Frias was a solid pick there where he was. And another one, lineman Joe Lindholm, 60 overall center. Their center just retired. And another guy I felt was a reach. And also Kyle Fenimore, we know he was solid. So I'm not going to say that was a bad pick right there. What's you guys' thoughts on this? Do you agree? Do you think it wasn't that bad? What's your thoughts?
When was the first pick? Was that the second round they had a first pick?
The first pick was in the second round.
Back end of the first, I think, or second. I mean,
Yeah.
either way, yeah. There's definitely, it's easy to judge in hindsight, and that's going to sort of be the tale of today. Words that we're spewing right now, because it's easy to say, well, yeah, this wasn't a very good plan, but in the moment, you have to assume that guys are either taking guys that they liked, whether it was based off their combine, based off of what they were able to do in the series. Maybe it's their body type, maybe it's their scheme, their archetype fit. But I mean, obviously, a lot of these picks here, I think, could have been a little bit better, knowing the fact afterwards that there was better players in almost any one of these positions. I do like the fact that they were able to still get Fenimore at the back end of the draft. I felt that should have been where Nowakowski was taken. That might have been a better option there for him, since obviously Fenimore was still available. But again, these are the kind of things that happen. You're gonna hit and miss on prospects. We just have the unfortunate and fortunate, understanding of knowing who's going to be bad right after the draft, let alone like in the real league, where the real world, where it's, you don't know until they start sucking on the field. So it's tough draft though for the Red Dragons.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna just drop a couple of things out of my mind, man. My crazy mind over here, the gigabyte mind, as Speedy said, man. You know what I mean? Big old head, man. But yeah, man. Look, I got two things, man. One, if there was any draft to draft in the first round, it was this draft. And I get it. Guys wanted to move back, man. They wanted to pick up those late guys, and some of those guys won. A lot of guys didn't win in the late rounds, man. And so this is the draft. Give up everything you can for this draft. This was a great draft. Nothing against the next year's guys. I don't even know if that draft gonna be as sweet as this draft, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm just being honest, guys. You know what I mean? It might not be that sweet, man. But this was the draft. And if you didn't get in the first round, man, I hope you were able to make up for it in later rounds. As far as the second thing I want to say, the disclaimer is that there's going to be a lot of teams that we measure today, and I have a philosophy with the Cougars, man. We don't care about overalls. We care about players that we think are going to make a difference on our team. There's a lot of guys in this league who can play with 65, 68 overall, 70 overall players, so the way I'm going to approach this is just to let you guys know what I think as far as what the people obtained and what I saw out of college out of these guys here. My grade for the Red Dragons is close to the D+, simply because I felt that Coach didn't get the caliber player that he could have gotten out of the draft. I think he drafted some names. We knew some names. We knew who Taylor-Luby was. We knew who Willie-nilly was. We knew who Chad Stevens was. We knew who Nowakowski was. We knew who Arias was, and we knew who Fenimore was. I'm not going to say I knew who the guard was. I'll leave that for the data guys. They know about the guards and everything. But he drafted a lot of guys. But in my opinion, just looking at one of these players, like Fenimore was not one of the better backs in the college series. He started off pretty hot, but later on he kind of cooled off. And so while I don't think it's all the way a D plus, maybe I could say maybe a D minus or something, or a C plus to D minus, or C minus or whatever. But I think that it's just going to be the tell of the tape what he's able to do with these players around. And so I'm honestly, in my opinion, I'm just looking forward to just seeing what he's able to do with this team here. But it wasn't one of the better drafts as you can see here on the screen.
And shout out to Swindle Donut for the $4.99 donation. Go ahead and move this over here so I can see the chat better. Finally see you guys now. So yeah, that's who I thought had the worst draft. Let's go ahead and move on to number 31. I felt like the Orlando Sentinels, I gave them a C minus because they started off really hot. The first 2 picks were solid, pretty much starters. They lost their tight end. They got Tyler Dietrich, a 73 overall guy, second round, solid. Then they got, of course, the first round, they got Blueberry Hill, solid starting free safety now for them. Or I think he's moving them to strong. Can't remember where his weakness in the safety spot is, but I know it was one of them. He didn't have one at all. So he's definitely playing. But then after that, it was just like kind of similar to the Red Dragons, a lot of reaches. The third round going and getting Archibaldo Nino the fourth, when there was a ton of running backs available. I just felt, it was just a huge reach right there. But the biggest reach of them all was the one that came after that with Stephen Newsome. I mean, at this point, you had a bunch of linebackers that were known that we've seen in the college series, and he reaches out and gets a person that was not a part of the college series he never saw, and it was the lowest overall player picked in the draft. With a 55 overall middle linebacker. This is at the time where they had Charles Turner and all types of middle linebackers on the board. Completely missed on that opportunity there. Got a solid pick in Samaj Jarrett. You can see there, lineman Dominic Truman is solid. Good little depth guy to build up. And the rest of these guys really depth guys. He got Brandon Fecky to fill in for the just recently traded, not too long ago, Allen. And then he got a wide receiver in Isaiah King Hens, which is a solid pick there to end the draft. But, if I had to bell, I would play it here for the Sentinels because, it's not only for this year. This has been where the Orlando Sentinels and Coach Torre has been losing in seasons here in the RFL. It's just he's not been able to sustain and get solid drafts. This has been, I would have to say, probably the third back-to-back. His biggest draft pick was DeAndre Wilkins Jr., who's doing everything for him, but it just doesn't seem like these guys are acquiring pieces to really help this team thrive and succeed. And because of that, okay, they got those 2 solid guys in the beginning. That's what puts them in the C range. But everything else from there, I just felt was, a failure of the picks that he acquired. And hopefully everything turns out for him. What's your guys' thoughts on it?
I got to agree here. I think the first 2 picks were very solid, very good, especially for the position you were at. The third, I was not that, Archibaldo Nino is can't be a good running back, but even if that is the best running back on the board, I feel like they already had a guy there in Jet Skyback that's not the same player, but sort of the same build. Expect the same type of things out of, especially in the rookie year. I felt maybe a bigger bodied back to sort of offset Skyback out of the backfield would be a better fit, and there was plenty available there. And obviously the Newsome pick is a big one. They've been able to come out of each draft with like 1, sometimes 2 players that can make a difference. But really where the drafts are won are when it's not the top flight player. Like, what can you do with the 2nd round picks, the 4th round picks, the 5th round picks? Can you find that diamond in the rough? Can you find that hidden gem? And that's really where it's been a struggle sometimes for the Sentinels. And this is the kind of thing that can set a franchise back for years. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on, and something that hopefully can get turned around.
Yeah, that's a good point that you made there at the end there, turning things around. I truly believe that, Coach Armstrong is going to be able to, come up with something here, man. This is just a veteran coach here in the RFL. I know that there are some things that, he's really good at and some things he's not really good at. And I kind of feel that, maybe the drafting area has been a bit of a struggle for him. He did turn up two solid players, and we know that on defense, the Sentinels definitely needed a defensive player. I like the pick here with the tight end as well. one thing I did see about Archibald Onino, was that a 97 speed on this guy, Smitty?
Yeah, he's pretty fast. I think 96, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't have the speed thing right now. But,
Yeah, and I'm gonna go on my sentiment, guys, man. Sometimes, it's not always about those overalls, man. Sometimes you can get a guy working, just based off of an overall or a certain area of his game. And so it just left to be desired what we see out of Archibald Onino, if he's able to help out as far as the speed of that backfield now with the Sentinels, man. So definitely good luck to Tor there, and we'll see what happens. I kind of want to see what Samaj Jarrett does as well. So yeah.
He came in decent overall. The pick he was picked at, 69 is solid.
Correct. I forgot about Fecky down there too, man. That's
solid backup dude there for DeAndre Wilkins.
I want to add to that King Hens guy too, man. I'm worried I'm not worried about him, but I want to see what he's able to do out of that guy. I haven't seen we haven't seen the attributes of any of these guys yet, so I don't know if the guys have route running or anything, man. So
and that's what
that's
working on
going to be
right
the tail of the tape, man. Yeah.
You'll be able to see, even though these are some, you see in 60s here, low 70s, stuff like that. Some of these guys are going to still be able to bring what they were able to bring in college to an extent. So it's going to be interesting once you guys see those attributes and everything else.
Yep.
We'll move on to the next one. I got the Mexico City Diablos, the 30th in the draft rank here. Gave them also a C-. This is another team I felt reached quite a bit as well. First round, they go out and get James Ramos. We know he's a community guy, but there was 3 top flight quarterbacks after Daryl Johnson and Kai Cash was taken off the board, and they go out and get James Ramos. He talked about he could work with him. He liked what he saw in him and everything else. But I really feel like this could have been a spot definitely for if we weren't going to take McCall. You got Leo Moon out there. You had Owen Jack, 71 and 70 overall guys right there, and you take Ramos. Which like I said, not talking anything about him, we already know, but just was not at that level during the college series, and they missed the ball there, I think, on taking a quarterback to really lead them. But it's not like James Ramos still can't turn out to be that guy. I just feel like it's going to take a lot more work for him to get there. Got a solid offensive guard and Terrell Lewis there, solid wide receiver, and Cody Carter. Everything else really wasn't that bad, but I felt like everything else was average when they could have actually still picked in some places better players. So that's why I gave him the C- there. But really what stuck out to me was, that Ramos pick there in the first round.
Definitely set the tempo in a not a bad way, but you're in that first round, you're expecting like that 72, that 73, the 71, whatever, some with a dev. And but at sometimes, and I think this can even go back to some of the drafts we've already seen, that we've already discussed, I guess, today. I mean, some of these guys are going to be worth more than some of their counterparts down the line. It's going to depend on who ends up sticking around with their prospect, as we know, and utilizing their reload bucks. So at that point, 10 years from now, we could look at some of these drafts and be like, wow, these guys were not wrong at all. But at this time, knowing who was available, there was a few reaches. Maybe it's, again, guys reaching for guys that you personally you like their play style, you like what you saw with their stats. It's a really tough thing, and you got to put a lot of work in too, which is something that not everybody has time for, I guess. And Forbes is not one of those guys. He studied this thing in and out. With him and Mitchie, as we all know, do all the prospect stuff for the podcasts that they do. But sometimes stats can be misleading. Sometimes combines can be misleading, and this is sort of the reaction from that sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. Kind of the same sentiment as what Bill is saying about, sometimes you draft for the guy that you liked. I definitely did that. With my guys, we picked the guys that not that I liked them as in this is my buddy in Discord. Y'all know I ain't friends with nobody in here, right? But except CP, man. I love that guy, man. And Lito, he's cool too. No, but like I drafted guys that I saw in the series that I thought would fit, and I was okay with if this guy's not all the way the highest overall or whatever, because I felt like physically and some of the things that these guys are probably going to have on that hardware they're going to have. I felt that, that's going to be good for me. I was a little perplexed, man. Ramos knows I love him, man. But when we're talking about the caliber of quarterbacks that were in the draft, and we're talking about the success of quarterbacks, I liked what Ramos did, but at the end of the day, Ramos kind of just had a slightly above average season with his team, and that was because he didn't have a whole lot of weapons. We can argue that, right? We can argue he didn't have the weapons, But I was a little shocked that the Diablos went with him. It could have been loyalty, right? Maybe he just talked to the guy all summer long or whatever. He wanted the guy. The guy is an active guy. We know Ramos. Ramos is cool, man. He's serving his country right now, So maybe Forbes said, "Hey, I will go at Ramos," right? But I was a little shocked because I did think that if I had to measure quarterbacks, I thought that OJ was definitely a better quarterback. And I don't mean that in a snide way, Ramos and Ramos fans. But I felt that there were better quarterbacks. I was just a little shocked when he took Ramos here. But overall, what shocked me here though, and Smitty don't care, man. I'm gonna just say it, but I thought that Drew Blaze, because wasn't that the Oklahoma boy?
Yeah, he was tearing it up with Daryl Johnson.
Yeah, man.
Solid receiver.
And you guys might hear this argument from me a little bit. And it's okay. The draft is over. It is what it is. It's set in stone. I was like, man, Drew Blaze is not the guy. I thought he
overall wise.
Yeah, man, I thought he would have been a little higher. I was thinking that. I liked Cody Carter an awful lot. I liked him as a utility back.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't. I don't think he was an every down back, but utility wise, hands wise, he was a serviceable back for his team. And then I know guys are high on Malcolm Thompson and everything. Malcolm, you know what time it is, Malcolm. He played with Miami, and I when I saw his overall, I kind of, I'm not gonna say he was the toughest defender, you know what I mean? But I get it, I get it. He wasn't the best defender on that defense, so I understand it. And then we're comparing it to the whole league, the whole spectrum of cornerbacks and stuff. So. Yeah.
Malcolm Thomas, a big reason on why, he had a solid season for his role, but that was the main reason on why I could not credit him with a lot more, because he just really wasn't on the field that often. When he was on the field, he was making some plays, but he was the third string cornerback, and then sometimes he wasn't even in. There was only but so much I could give to him. He did a great job with interceptions and making plays though, when he could. So, to come in at a 66 third string cornerback on the team, I felt like it was the best, fit for him right there. Should be a solid guy. Moving on to the 29th ranked team in the draft in my order, I believe that should go to the Columbus Aviators. This was a team, of course, had later picks in each round. I gave them a C+, and gave them a C+ because, they picked some solid guys and everything else. I think they still had a slightly better draft at what they had than the guys before, and didn't get any 70s or anything like that. But once again, overalls, they really don't matter. But I'm looking at the players and when they selected them. First round, a lot of running backs on the board. He selects Thomas Didymus.
Second round.
Oh, second round. Okay,
he didn't have a first round
okay,
pick.
never mind. I forgot about that. Okay, so I still graded it based off the right thing. So I guess I still felt like there was other running backs, period, that he could have took other than T. Diddy at that time. So one thing good about T. Diddy, though, of course, I believe he's using him for this because I feel like he's trying to fill him in like how Kadron Lusk was, except with a lot more speed. We already know he's fast. So T. Diddy was a solid guy there. You got Rip Montez. I felt like, probably could have got some other linebackers. Now, the outside linebackers wasn't that in-depth. It was the middle linebackers that were, really solid in this class. But I think, could have probably chose one of those guys over Rip Montez to try to fill that outside role, move him over there, stuff like that. It's kind of, I've seen some guys doing, especially me for CPU teams. Then they get another outside linebacker, and Ryan Thompson, solid dude. I really like the Zoe Sheffield pick because you get a taller wide receiver now for this team. He's extremely fast. We saw him blaze by defenses in college, and he's definitely going to be hard to keep up with that 97 speed in the RFL. And the rest, honestly, was pretty solid. Brian Davis, you're just going to get those lower overall guys at the end. But it was like pretty much, it was nothing that really wowed you. So I gave it a middle of the pack, C+.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that this draft was a little bit less than what you would like, or what you would grade as a solid draft, is because they seem to trade away quite a bit of their capital with acquiring William Yost. But being somebody who has made that move myself, when it comes to, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trade one of my high picks away, because I feel that the player I can get in replace of him is going to be better than what I can get at my current pick. So you have to throw William Yost in here as part of their draft because of that. And I think overall wise, we're going to have a lot of these drafts where everybody's going to seem like they're sort of picking the same thing, but it's anywhere from 29th spot to 12th spot because it was so many players in that range. So I don't think, you can grade it at 29. I don't know if this is truly the 29th worst, draft, or 29 least best draft, however you want to say it. But it's, I like a few of the picks here. And I think I see that there was more of a emphasis on what kind of player I'm going to take rather than who I'm taking. And I can respect that.
Yeah. I liked the Rip Montez. I definitely liked the Zoe Sheffield. Because I know what Zoe Sheffield can do. And that's a player there that I'm like, he's one of the fastest men in the league now. I believe.
He's up there.
Well, I don't know what his acceleration is though.
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Yeah, but I know that it was his speed is legendary, right? Is it 97? Yeah. So that's going to be a good
coming out of the draft. 97.
That's is Guyton 97 speed?
I think he's 98.
I believe
something like
98.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's up there in Guyton area, man. That's going to be real right there. I like that pick there. Guys, I don't think the Aviators needed a halfback, man. In my opinion, I know they had two halfbacks with Lusk and what is it? Steele? No, it's not Steele. It's Kenny Kingston.
Kenny.
I don't think that they needed a back first. But he went with this guy. To me, I would have liked to see the Aviators go with a high tier defensive player. At their pick, but they didn't. In that second round, they went with their guy. So we'll see. Did they miss T Diddy? No slouch. He has some speed on him too. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with him there.
Solid. So moving on to number 28th ranked draft for me, it's the Brooklyn Barons. Gave them a C+ as well. They had a really good solid pick with Laquavius Machiavelli. What kind of, so it's not a bad pick, but this is also a team that had JJ, you got Amari Manuel, quite a bit of wide receivers on this squad. I think they could have probably went somewhere else here for a selection. They just traded away a linebacker. I know they got one back and everything, but he's an older guy. I just felt like they could have went somewhere else. With a higher, overall, well, not a higher overall, but just a solid player, other than adding a wide receiver. I just felt like that didn't really do too much to improve the team. Maybe it helps him out with the depth and stuff. And of course, he's going to get Machiavelli involved and stuff like that. But then I felt like James Axel was a bit of a reach too at the linebacker at the second pick that he chose, because there was also quite a bit of linebackers at that time that was available. I really liked the Deshaun Best pick. Stephen Forbes was solid. Amy Schlizzy, first female player in the RFL, getting drafted and everything. A solid guy, a solid person right there. But then I felt like once we got past Schlizzy, it was, the rolling selections, at Grayson Perkins. I'm not sure why he went to choose that. There was a lot of other wide receivers. This guy was barely on the field, and he went and got Grayson Perkins. Didn't understand that. Did not understand the David Chiata pick at all, to be honest. But we know why it happened, because it happened live in the draft. Guy talked a little bit of trash and talked a little crazy on the stream. And that's all right.
I want him.
Roland needed to see. I want that.
He told Mix what? I want him.
But guess what? He's 61 overall. He's got a lot a lot of work before he could touch the field. I like Joe Rubio, hard hitting safety, good little guy to add there. Got an aging safety themselves over there. And Boogie Ledford's a solid wide receiver. But I just gave it a C+. I'm not going to say I didn't like the draft that they had. But, a couple questionable things, just gave him that C+.
I think that this grade, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I understand why they're so far down. If you look at the draft just based off of the overalls they drafted, it doesn't look like a bad draft.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, and I feel like this is where you were going with this, is the reasoning behind the picks and what was done to get these picks in the building. So if you've been keeping up, the Barons made a few trades, around in the first quarter, mid to late picks or just other players, whatever the case. And I didn't really understand, I guess, the purpose, because the positions that they tried to fill in the first three areas were all positions that they already had, but they, for the most part, got rid of to acquire these picks to pick somebody that was worse. And I know that these guys are younger, so I get it, but this team has been has finally come out of this awkward, just 8-8 phase. Roland Woods has got them playing better, and now it's almost like you're transitioning into another rebuild thing, because you're getting rid of all of these veterans like Juan Crosby and Damian Parks, right? Parks.
Mm-hmm.
And you're bringing in these younger linebackers when you were just building up the guys you already had. And to me, that's a little confusing. But again, maybe this is maybe he sees something we don't. I just, and to see Q-Pac go, Q-Pac's great. He's going to be a great receiver in the RFL. But like you said, they have all these other receivers there already. The two linebackers, they gave up two solid linebackers to get these two linebackers. And then two linebackers they went after were lower than what I think they expected.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I just don't understand the concept behind it. I feel like the Barons are in a spot right now where they need to keep that veteran leadership, and they need to just find the best guys available at any position when they have the draft picks. But they sort of got themselves worse with getting rid of the players and then replaced them with younger guys who aren't going to be able to probably start right away. So I'm a little confused by it, and I can see why, because the overalls don't tell you that it's a bad draft.
Yeah.
The overalls tell you this is a decent draft.
And not only that, it's just like the division that they're in. When you take a step back on defense in the NRC North, that's not good. Like you was just saying, they were just on the build, and then to do this with the linebackers, we know how important linebackers are in the RFL and the defenses in general. I just felt like, I didn't understand it. Well, you got go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, man. Hey, Bill already broke it down, man. He's watching them guys. NRC, man. He had the scope out on him, man. The hunter scope. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna say too much, man. But I do like the Q-Pac pick, because I know what Q-Pac was. But come on, Roland. We know that was a safety pick. That was a safe choice. We know Q-Pac was a safe choice for you, man. We know you ain't need him. You know you ain't need him. The Barons know you ain't need him. The league know you ain't need him. Everybody know you ain't need him but you. And you went ahead and you got Q-Pac, and you did that because he gonna sell jerseys, because he's popular, because he's gonna make the Barons, whatever you think. You probably want to be playing the Hail Mary music now. You probably gonna have a whole bunch of Tupac quotes on your Instagram now. But I know you know that I know you ain't need Q-Pac, man. He's supposed to go to the Aviators. Anyway, it's all good, man.
All needs to be said right there. Man, I wish I had a bell, man.
It's over.
I need to re-download it. I just looked on my computer not too long ago.
So we didn't get the bell?
Nah, it's not in my
So
computer
you
anymore.
did all that, messed up all the cameras?
All that for nothing,
Bell.
man. Sorry.
That needs a bell.
Pick number 27.
Hey, shout out to Amy Schlizzy, though, man. First female kicker, though. He did that one for some clout, too. Just so you say I'm the first one.
Facts.
I brought the girl to the Barons. There it is.
All clout. But yeah, for number 27th ranked team performance in the draft, I had the Portland Snowhawks on here. gave him a B minus. Now, like from here on out, it's like I'm not saying that no one had a bad draft because it's a B minus. That is not a bad grade. So from here on out, it's going to be like just kind of on the up and up, but just compared to the other teams ahead. I got the Snowhawks there at 27. Got Josh Hardy. We already knew what Mitch was doing here because he even let us know like he was just really. The Snowhawks are a stacked team. This is a team just made the Reload Bowl just last year, so he pretty much went in this draft and looked for guys that he just liked that could still be he could build on and still be somewhat of a cornerstone piece for the team in the future. And it was looking at the Josh Hardy pick, most people be like, there's a lot of linebackers they could have picked compared to that, but he got Josh Hardy. Okay, you say, Rod? Jedediah. Got Jedediah.
I was waiting on you to say. I was waiting on you. Jedediah.
I see you was up there getting hyped with the cheese, and so I already knew. But yeah, Jedediah. He got Jedediah out there, man. 72. These were solid. That's a solid second round pick at linebacker. Got Khalil Grayson. Even though you see the 68, this guy had a star dev too. This is a team that needed linebackers. So like I said, this was not a bad draft for them really at all. Compared to the other guys, I just gave them that B minus because in some areas I did feel like, okay, you pick some guys that you like, but there are some pieces that was on the board at certain places that you could have added, even more talent. So that's the reason why I gave him this. I like the Ryan LeCavalier pick. We kind of were shocked about the Christian Barnett, but just like rolling with the clout, we already knew what Mitch was doing. Trying to get the page, the social media page up.
IG on fleek now.
I know, got highlights out.
Out of control.
That's
I don't know what Beasley doing. Calm down, Beasley.
That's B's page now. But to be the hottest social media page now. Crazy. Then he got Jaden Romanelli. He was a star quarterback, solid. Javon Love, Tyler Bloomgren. You can see the guys right there. Just mainly guys, solid guys though, but mainly guys that he just wanted to boost up his locker room. And, of course, to boost up that social media with CBs.
I really actually sort of like this draft. Obviously, you don't get the home run hits out of it at all, really. But like you said, there's a couple of guys in here who have star dev. You get the benefit with the social media, like we said, with the Christian Barnett pick. But like we said, this team is stacked. They just came off a Reload Bowl loss. They made it there. They are right now the representatives of the NRC. They don't need guys to plug in and play right this second. Now, linebackers, because apparently he just decided to just release everybody, even though I swear it, he had like 8 of them last year before we hit the regular season. So I don't know what happened there. But I do like it for the fact that what it seems like is that the Snowhawks are just adding all these guys because they know they're going to sit there for 2 to 3 years. But once they do sit there, they're going to grow into these a lot better players. And as their veterans leave, they're going to have a lot more firepower starting out right out of the gate without having to fill many holes.
Yeah, man, my boy Mitch, man. I like this draft. I thought it was higher than a B minus simply because he got a bunch of community guys, and at the same time, he got some solid players on his team, and he pulled some sharks, man, in my opinion. It's just funny, man. Like, you stack, man, when you could just say, hey, I'm just taking all linebackers, guys. Y'all can have everybody else, man. I'm gonna just take every linebacker until I find one. I don't know, man. If I was the DBs, I feel sorry, man, because Mitch might be starting all linebackers on his team, man. Because he only had one linebacker going into it. He had mentioned that. He had dropped everybody, lost everybody, so he had to get linebackers, and that's what he did. He went with his gut. He signed the guys. He got some guys here. Out of all these draft picks here, what I really like the most, man, is I like the Zach Jeremy and I like the Ryan LeCavalier picks, man, and the Jaden Romanelli, man. I thought Washington was awesome.
I messed up.
That's just my
Zach
opinion.
Jeremy. He was wide receiver instead of an outside linebacker. Didn't edit that.
Yeah. Said what now?
I got him as an outside linebacker.
Yeah, I know.
He took all the linebackers. You could have just put OLB or MLB in every position, and it would probably seem right.
But I really like the Zach Jeremy, the Ryan LeCavalier, and the Romanelli. I see the triangle right there, Mitch, and I want to see what you do with those guys. Then that West Coast zone run. Yes, at some point, man. That was awesome. And I see you, Mitchell Check. Oh
So with the
man.
26th ranked draft performance, I went with the Salt Lake City Elks here. They had some reaches here, but I felt like some of the areas that they did get addressed areas that they did need pretty well. You really reached with the Connor Baker pick. I kind of feel with that first selection that they had, because that's another choice where I think he just went with a community guy. But there was another community guy out there. Kobe Bamba was on the board here. He could have took him instead. He said that, oh man, they had Kobe Bamba, didn't think about it, went and got Connor Baker, but he bounced back with a solid selection with Deshaun Abbas out of USC. Then he got a nice speedster out of Luis Cardenas. That's a great weapon to have to try to help out Eric Fisher some more. I think their wide receivers definitely need to get added to. Got a nice tight end in Mason Dunn, who's a star dev, 74 overall. And, he's got his tight end over there that's aging with Casey McDermott. If I'm not mistaken, I think he released Casey McDermott too. So this is another day one guy right there. Stephon Harris, we already saw what he was able to bring to the table with college in Oregon. And then the rest of the guys were just pretty solid picks. So I was just like, you know what? This was just a solid draft for the Elks, because it really filled in some nice solid spots that they needed. And, that's all I could really say about it. Just got some really solid guys for a first-time coach coming in the league.
I did like this draft too. But, I mean, like you said, the Connor Baker pick, like, no offense to Connor Baker, but this is just straight old hate on Wisconsin, because that's the cool thing to do in the RFL, because we all know Kobe Bamba was killing it last year, all right? You don't have to like Wisconsin to know that. Anyways, wow, that sounded like Justin, didn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Just
didn't have all a draw with it, what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't have the Memphis draw on it, but
yeah.
I did like the Deshaun Abbas pick. That was a great pick. Same with Mason Dunn.
I just saw my bad. McNeil says Smitty has 15 teams he drafted for in his top 25.
Oh, you know it.
Why wouldn't they be? I picked the best players available.
Yeah, because you knew them all.
Yeah, I didn't get to actually select. I had to go by the order, but still, of course, they're going to have solid picks. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much all I had to say. That's, I think they had a decent pick. A couple of ones here that you can say, like, was that worth it there? But overall, they had some solid players out of this one.
Max got Connor Baker in the first round.
I believe.
Was it second? I think it was second.
Second round.
I think it was second. It was second round.
Okay.
Early second, fifth pick in the second round.
Yeah, I like what Max did here. I've been saying it, man. I feel like the Oregon Ducks, man. I feel like they wide receivers, man. I don't know, Smitty, man. I thought Steph was all right. Kelvin Lewis, one of them boys was somebody, man. I mean, didn't OJ? How many yards did OJ have?
Off the top of my head,
OJ have 4,000?
You go ahead and check to see what's on the college series.
OJ had a lot of passing yards, man. He won an award, so I just knew. I mean, he couldn't pass to himself, so I just knew that this guy, one of these guys, was gonna be, I thought at first I thought Kelvin Lewis. I liked Kelvin Lewis, man. Some of the highlights I saw out of this guy, but then, I was looking at Stephon Harris. I was like, well, Stephon Harris has been eating as well. I thought that was going to be the stud here, man. But that wasn't the case, man. I like the Mason Dunn pick. That was awesome, man. Pulling that guy that late.
Yeah, I don't know if this is correct, but it says Owen Jack had 2,900.
Only 2,900?
Yeah. But, I mean, that's crazy to have that.
Did he have a lot of rushing yards, though, too?
He ran a little bit, too. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But, to have that low of yards and 33 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, that's ridiculous.
I think we just assumed he had more yards because he had so
many touchdowns. Yeah.
73%.
So, yeah.
That was a beast.
Crazy. Yeah, I just thought, I was thinking Stephon or Kelvin, man, but it's all good. It's water under the bridge now. I thought this was a decent draft. I think the score is where it's at. So, yeah, it is what it is.
All right, moving on to 25th best performance. I put the Brooklyn Bulls, B- as well. Solid pick with Brock Melton. They had older wide receivers, and he's a young guy, going to be filling in. He should be able to touch the field. Even though they got, I believe it's 4 wide receivers that's going to be over him. Kashama and those other guys just going to have to take a back seat because they're both 32, and they can rotate whenever. But I think Brock Melton's solid guy to rotate in to become that top number one guy in the future for them. They went and got some cornerback help with Matty Packerman III, solid cornerback, 74 overall. Malcolm Washington, good safety help there. And another defensive tackle to go with Sergio Woods with Jamarcus Sample. And, of course, there was no love really being shown by the fullbacks. I drafted 2 of the 3. So I got Jurek Bykov-Levitsky. And another slept-on quarterback I felt in the RFL draft was Ricky Vaughn. Not the highest overall, 66 overall, but if you were just watching Michigan State, in the beginning of the season, this guy was on fire. Beast mode dude. Does not have star dev, though, still. I just couldn't give it to him based off the other guys I had to distribute it with. But solid guy to back up. We already know Lane Kearney's been struggling the last couple of years. So the future, they need to start working on that now, which is what that pick was for. That's a solid pick there for, what was that, the 6th? And then they ended up with Michael Harden, a DN out of Florida State. So I thought it was a really solid draft for the Brooklyn Bulls.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised looking at what they ended up with that they're not higher on this list. I mean, they had 5 of their 7 picks all above 70s. I don't think any other team did that for the most part.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. Holy moly. Overall, I mean, they answered a lot of needs that they had, and they killed it every single round, it looks like. So hats off to the Bulls. I'm surprised they're back here at 25.
Hey, it's real when you got a 75 overall fullback, man. Yikes. So, hey, I don't know how DJ feel about that, man. Hopefully he's happy about it. Hopefully don't get in the way. But yeah, that should be a good offense. They got some studs there. And you already know who I'm waiting on, man. You know who I'm waiting on to come to town, man. You know who I'm waiting on too, man. Old Matty. I called him another name. I won't call him the name I called him. Ratty. Oh, you said it, Rat. There go. I'm waiting on Ratty Pack, man. I'm waiting on Ratty Pack. Step to the cheese trap, man. Big number 18, man. Man to man. But hey, I ain't gonna say the rest.
But I ain't gonna say it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say the rest. Let me get cheeses. Let me get cheese trap in the trap. Let me get cheeses in the chat right now, because y'all already know. I can't wait. Ratty Pack.
That guy was starting.
I can't wait for you, man.
Got to the second round, wasn't he?
He played me. Hey, yo, Bill, you told me we were live on the draft. You said, hey, man, the dude done put something on Instagram. Mix. I'm like, what? I couldn't even check it.
Had the Pac-Man.
The Pac-Man even cool. First of all, who told you can use unauthorized use of my logo? I should find him. Unauthorized use. He ain't even in the league yet. He using the logo. All right. We about to. Y'all ain't never seen an ISO ran in football. You about to see one in season 7. ISO. Clear it out.
He said Pac-Man about to get smoked like one, man.
Get Davies. Whoever. We about to get him. We about to run him. About to run. I can't say we about to run. We about to run it up on that guy, man. Put him in, coach.
Be ready, Pac, because I mean they get solid receivers.
Get the reloads now. Get the reloads now. Get the reloads now. Bet on all the games. Bet on the Thunderbirds on all the games. Do it. Get the reloads. You gonna need them.
Number 24 in the draft. I got the Toronto Thunderbirds. Speaking of them, B-. Juice Adams. This is another team. Stack really don't need anything. 70 overall. Juice Adams. I think he was a junior. I didn't add his third or the junior. I thought he had something more than that. But 70 overall. He also was a star dev. It's another team that took a fullback. 75 overall with Nathan. I don't know if it's Nathan because he didn't have the H in his name.
Nathan?
I'm not sure. We're gonna call him Nate. But Nathan.
I think it's Nathan. I think it's Nathan, man. It's supposed to be Nathan.
Nathan?
Well, I think it's supposed to be Nathan. Like, I think it's supposed to be Nathan, but it's like Nathan, man.
I checked
Nathan.
3 times. Even the app had Natan.
Yeah,
Natan.
probably Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan and them. Nathan and them.
Yeah,
He's biased. He's biased. So, my boy Nate. My Nate. Hey, Nate.
Nathan.
What are my dogs at, man? I like some Nathan hot dog, man.
And his name, unfortunately, we already understand the last name, but you could put Potter in the game, but you can't put Johnson Potter. I don't understand. So he's going to be Johnson P. In the game. I was thinking about probably just leaving it straight Johnson.
Wait, hold on, Smitty. We can't have Nathan Johnson P, man.
Johnson with just a P dot, like, you know what I mean? Like it was longer extended. I put the dot in there, but
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
If he wants
Yeah,
to
I got you.
Johnson, he could do it, but the dude ain't active anyway. I haven't seen him, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to get the P.
Yeah.
Solid wide receiver, speed wise, great solid wide receiver in general coming out the draft. 69 overall, Brandon Welch. We know he's a fast dude for Mississippi State, adding to that wide receiving core that they really have been building on during the offseason with the trades and stuff, acquiring, of course, London Lions, which got these two over here beefing. They got Swan Chaney. So I mean, to get another fast wide receiver like that, that's great. He could fill in nicely, in the future for the slot for Fatanukin and things like that. Got a backup quarterback in Anthony Gonzalez. He still needs to work to even be the number 2 guy. He's got to try to beat out Connor Hand in the future. So Anthony Gonzalez was a selection there. You had free safety Jeffrey Colvin, another solid pick there at the round in which they got him. To add to that defense some more. Got a cornerback, Kelly Trenton, and then Nick Webster. Nick Webster was a sleeper, made a lot of big catches and things for West Virginia. But one of the biggest knock on him is speed. We'll have to see, how long he sticks around and everything, but still solid draft picks. That's why I got him here. Thoughts on this?
I like the players that were chosen. I don't feel that they were much, and I know that this team is stacked. But it just, every one of these players I just see like not really making much of an impact at all for the next 3 or 4 years, and that's really what's going to happen when you have some of these teams that are going to be pretty stacked. But yeah, I mean, Juice Adams, I was surprised he was still there back at that point. A solid choice. Johnson Potter, obviously a great choice at fullback. I didn't know we were going to have that many good fullbacks or fullbacks in general. I like the Colvin pick because of the player. I think he was a solid player, but I don't know what his role is going to be, considering they have Gonzalez at free safety, who's 24, and they also have Mays at strong safety, who's I think like 25, 26, something in that range.
So the big thing with that is just there's already stacked. I mean, this is depth on top of depth. If something happens with him, he comes in, he's pretty much just going to be a role player guy and then probably venture off free agency or something, stuff like that. But just a guy to have for solid depth for a team like the T-Birds,
Yeah, some of these teams are going to have these drafts where you just don't really see much direction, but it's just picking who you think is the best at that point. And I feel like that's sort of what happened with the Thunderbirds here, because they don't need a lot of holes. I do still feel, I know we sort of went back and forth on this, and I still do feel that they really could have or should have invested in a running back as a long-term solution. I know they have a couple of guys, but they've had those guys for how many years now? And I just, with the amount of running backs that fell in this draft, I felt that they could have really taken one of the top backs later on in the draft and built themselves a every down back for, a year or two down the line. So I was a little caught off guard they didn't address that, but everything else is just, filler positions and depth for the future.
Yeah, man. I'm just glad I don't have to play the Thunderbirds, man. Let me get Smitty ain't right in the chat, man. He ain't need Juice Adams. We do it to Roland, we gotta do it to Smitty. They ain't need Juice Adams. Y'all know they ain't need Juice Adams, man. He just go ahead and put Juice Adams on the defense, man. He got all them defensive players. They got enough defenses for everybody in RC, man. They gonna have a first team on the field every game of the preseason.
Right.
A first team on the field playing defense in preseason. Smitty ain't right, man. Y'all know he ain't right. Go ahead and put it. Smitty ain't right. Y'all can say it. He ain't gonna ban you.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure a lot of people ain't gonna like me for a lot of these CPU. But
Oh, man.
y'all the one left him on the board. Ain't nobody tell you. You know what I mean?
You can't say that though.
I'm gonna say it.
We don't know them. We don't know the overalls.
It don't matter. When I looked and I saw the players left in certain rounds, I was like, nobody took this guy. What?
You mixed them up, Smitty.
Who cares? If you
Smitty got the whole thing talking about nobody took this
like
guy.
with the answers to the test.
He got
Like,
the
you
whole.
didn't know the answer to this.
He got the whole Scantron bubbled in.
Yeah, I already knew who everybody
Y'all
was.
ain't
You know what I mean?
picked
But I assumed that most coaches, I didn't think that some of the guys that was on there was going to be there at that rounds they were. I was like, wow, they really missed the ball on that. All right, so I had to go ahead and swoop. That's why they were great, man. Y'all the ones made. I ain't right. You right. But y'all ain't
see
right
what he
either.
did there, guys? I had to go ahead and swoop. Thunderbird, see? Wings, get it? Swoop.
Yeah, moving on to the 23rd I have the Lancers at a B minus. This one got a solid offensive alignment, and the main thing is it's just like getting with what Bill was talking about with the picks and stuff they traded. They got a lot of solid guys back for it, and then they ended up getting some solid guys also in the draft. They addressed the offensive lineman. What, y'all can't hear me?
Did you picks?
Did you bell?
No, that's correct.
Did you trade away their picks, or did he trade away their picks?
No, I traded and got some linemen and stuff in return.
Oh,
so they definitely bolstered up from the picks they traded.
Yeah.
And the reason why they got up so high and got the B minus was because of the selections they got. They already got a lot of key players from the trades. Then they got, a star dev offensive lineman and Jacob Sprinsky. We knew how bad their offensive line was. They just also acquired some offensive line pieces. Then Justin Uran was just sitting around, which we understood why he fell because he was 24. But if there's any spot, and I remember you talk about this, Bill, during the draft, if there's any spot he could have landed to actually be an impact player right away, it was with the Oklahoma City Lancers. Another star dev guy. And then you got Joseph Fontanez, who honestly can easily battle for that number 2 spot over, Morris Justice. So every single one of their selections started more. Yeah, so I had to give him a B plus here. It was a really solid draft for just 3 picks.
I mean, I'm not knocking the draft at all. I think they had a very solid draft. I didn't know that they only had 3 picks. So I was like, whoa, okay, I did not expect that. But hey, I like all of the picks they got. Every single one of them. Springsky, the guard, is going to be a day 1 starter because we all know the Lancers needed some O-linemen. That was one of their main areas of need. Justin Uran, I love that pick. I'll tell everybody this right now because I really don't care. I was going to pick this guy if he was at my first selection when I was way at the back of the draft. But the age got me. And there wasn't a lot of teams that this guy could have gone to and just started immediately and been able to have an immediate impact. And he needed that to make his age make sense because we have the regression on 28. Guys can start regressing. I know it's not the same for every position, but it's still an option. It's still there. So to see him go to a team where he can play immediately, I think that was really important for him for his landing spot. So it couldn't have been a better spot. And Joseph Fontanez, I think he's got a perfect timeline. He came in, he needs work. We know this, but he's got Trey Mason there in front of him. And while Trey Mason's still holding the fort down, he can continue to grow and get better as a quarterback, be there for the Lancers once that time comes. So I really do like their draft. They hit it out of the park for the very few picks that they did have.
Yeah, man, decent draft for the Lancers. Just to Fontanez, man, just come to all the games, man.
Yeah.
Stack the reloads.
He was hype.
Get gamble on all the games. Do all the games, man. Get all the games, and yeah, man. Do what you got to do to progress your player, man.
Got a big shot here. I mean, it's a huge shot, but I mean,
don't blow it, man. Don't blow the shot, man.
6 overall. That's a lot of work to do. Still got to beat out Morris Justice, which I got faith in. But if Mason somehow retires or something, and he's already 30, and you're coming in 60 something overall playing against RFL defenses, that's gonna be a rough start to your career, man. So
work all the time.
Yeah, you're gonna have to really put
he
in
got
some
a couple
work.
Solid backs though, man.
He
sometimes he's got some
Aging,
solid players around him. Yeah.
I wanted to I was thinking about taking it back, but I felt like they still had great backs to sit there at least for another year. You know what I'm saying? And then see what happens in this upcoming class. So, yeah, he's got a good cast. Then at 22, I got the Austin Desperados. This is a team, lowest overall team right now currently in the RFL. And it was crazy what they were able to do this past season with the pieces they had. They lost just about everyone. Everyone's regressing.
Yeah.
The linebacker retired. This team got punched on, seriously. What was you about to say, Rob?
Why were y'all messing with me about Damian Fox, man? Y'all asked me, Rob, what you think about this Damian Fox guy, man? Why? I don't get it. Was it something that I said prior about? Did I say something prior about Damian Fox or something?
I think you said something about you was surprised his overall was high. This high?
Oh, really?
I think it was something like that.
I can't remember what it was either.
I believe it was something like that though. But,
yeah, because y'all asked me on spot. I was like, what? Did I say something crazy? I don't remember if I said something crazy about Damian Fox, man.
You just like, what? Or something
you
like
might
that.
have. I don't know.
Yeah. So I think he was more so surprised that he was a high overall, 72, because he didn't get too much spoke about him,
Yeah, what was
I
Damian
remember this
Eaves?
now.
What was Eaves about? Oh yeah, what was it?
So when the pick was announced and you were looking at the card, I saw your face sort of go like sort of like what is this?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, Rob, I feel like you
Yeah,
got
I
something to
did.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
because
and then that's when you said the overall thing. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Eves, right? What was Eves? What was
He was
his?
drafted. He was 77 overall.
Yeah, 77. And I kind of, I did kind of sleep on Fox, man. So that's probably what y'all saw me. I'm not gonna lie, man. I can't get everybody, you know.
And
So
not everybody.
yeah. And I missed here, man. I did. I kind of was shocked, man. I didn't think Fox would be this good. And I messed up there, man. It is what it is. So that's probably what you saw on the stream, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what? No. Shocked.
But Damian Fox, solid second. They traded away their first round pick. This is why I have still some hope for the Desperados. I think it's still going to be a tall hill to climb for these guys because they got a lot of pieces still. But with the picks that they were able to get, they got some solid guys to fill in the spots that were just dead after this past season. With Damian Fox, like we said, slept on cornerback, very solid selection there for him. These guys had, if not mistaken, 3 cornerbacks on the roster and then some agent. So they needed cornerbacks bad. They hit a solid one right there. Then they needed linemen. All their linemen is old, ready to go. And I'm talking about they're not the old where they're good overalls where they'll last you. Now they're old and low overalls. They need help on the line. They get Emmett Stockton. He's a 68 overall, but star dev. Was a very solid lineman in the college series. Definitely need help to back up on the defense with Jonathan Gage, great defensive tackle at for the Desperados, but he's 28 years old and they don't have any other force there in the middle just in case he goes down. And what happened in the playoffs? He went down off an injury, and what was the Snowhawks able to do the entire game? Ran right down their throats with DJ Scott. Now you got a backup guy, Chris Parrish, solid guy out of Utah. Then you go ahead, you get Joseph Settle just to help fill in that, that depth there for the Desperados. Now that makes it 4-5 cornerbacks now on the roster. Another one, all the cornerbacks at this point was taken. And so next up was the player wasn't even in the college series. And Nicholas Harris was there, 71 overall. When we talked about the player, the overall looked good, but there are some, questions about it, but still solid cornerback right there. Now they've really addressed that cornerback situation. And then you look at the linebacker, just a 6th round pick with Bankston. They needed to fill in with some linebacker depth, at least able to get one. And so that's why I gave him the B+. I thought it was a really solid draft, what I was able to get for them.
I feel like this team, obviously you don't want to say that a successful season was a bad season, but we knew that even though they were winning, they were the worst team in I think the entire RFL, overall wise.
Yeah.
And you look at them and you're like, well, obviously, they have some very key pieces like Tavion Hall and Chase Mason, Cecil Austin. And I feel like some of this talent pushed them past what they should have been able to do, and which is fine and that's awesome. But when it comes to this part of the season, it's difficult because you need a lot of pieces, even though you were successful last year. You can say some teams like, oh, we were just successful because we're really good. This team was more of a Cinderella story than it was just, wow, we're just so good everywhere. So now they had to pick, after a lot of teams, and you see the fallout there. They still get a few solid picks, but they could have potentially had even better players had they had earlier picks if they played to their level, I guess, if you say throughout the season. But because they played above it, some of these picks aren't going to be the flashiest, but give them a year or two, and I think they'll have a pretty solid showing out of some of these guys.
Yeah, I didn't have much on this pick, man. I mean, these picks here. Big shout out to the Desperados, and that's what's up, man.
Solid draft right there for Austin. Looking to build up that team. At number 21, I got the Celtic Tigers, B-. These guys are picking last in every round that they had to pick. Traded away their first round to the Huskies to get a wide receiver. We already know Dre Crowell taking a backseat now. It's Justin Jones filling in. And they got great wide receivers, but aging. And so the first pick they got in the second round at the end, Joanne Leitner, which was a solid wide receiver we saw out of Clemson, man. Got some great hands, go up, get the football. Great weapon for Justin Jones. They get him. In the next round, they get, I think this was the third or fourth. No, this was the third. They get Jamie DeSalis out of Florida, star dev, 69 overall guy. They need help at linebacker, because age, and that was a big thing right there, age and depth. So they get a guy who's going to be able to rotate in, once again, able to see the field. Offensive line, it's been one of the best offensive lines in the league for a while, but they're aging as well. Getting up there, they need depth too. Guys falling off, and so they get Philip Bird out of Ohio State. Tight end, they that's an aging spot. They couldn't get the tight end that they really wanted there, but Skeggy Thrash, 70 overall to Oklahoma, very athletic tight end, solid player there for them to get as well. And then Latarius Batiste being the Mr. Irrelevant of the RFL draft, solid wide receiver to end it. And so I thought it was just really solid picks for what they had, picking last in every round that they ran.
Yeah, somewhere probably in this chat, Lito is sitting here thanking his Wizard stars that and Leitner went to a different conference than him, so you didn't have to worry about him anymore.
Rest in peace, man.
Man, I was
oh man, I'm just messing, Lito. I only said that because I saw you asking for the smoke in the chat, and like the last time you saw me, he didn't. So, anyway, this is another situation.
Lito out here making threats, huh?
Yeah, he's out here.
Threats from the other side, yeah.
Hey, better put him in my division, angry face. Okay.
He can say that. He in a whole other foul. He can say that all he wants.
That. It's like when you're getting held back, like you're lucky somebody holding me back.
Right.
Oh man, I'm just messing around.
Man.
But no, I think this team, they didn't really need much of anything. They need things 2 to 3 years from now, maybe even a year from now. But they didn't need anything right this second. They already have their guy after Dre with Justin Jones. So this is just a very a draft you have just because you need to draft somebody. You have to have picks. You don't really need anybody in particular. They get guys that they can really lean on in the future. But yeah, I mean, these guys aren't probably going to play day one. They might not even play next year yet, but they're going to be there waiting when all of these high-powered guys they have end up, retiring or going elsewhere.
Yeah, man. I want to see Jamie DeSalis, man. I was high on that guy. I just want to see him running around, man. See what he can do. That's an awesome player right there, man. With the Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was an awesome linebacker, man. So I'm happy to see him. And I mean, obviously, Joanne Leitner is going to be, somebody that's they can work with. Skeggy Rash video. You messing with him? Messing with you about Skeggy Rash?
Skeggy.
It sounds like an infection, man.
It sounds like a pirate infection back in the old days.
Skeggy Rash, what in the world?
Skeggy Thrash, man.
Sound like something to ooze. But yeah, man. But yeah.
That's yeah, James Salas, he got an opportunity to possibly be a filler in for Reed Holmberg in the future. He could be the next Reed Holmberg, so that's solid. Moving on, number 20. There you go, Rob. Chicago Cougars, B- here. Of course, we knew once you got in the spot where you needed, you was gonna go CP. I even broke the silence early in the draft.
Yeah.
And Chris Polk, first round pick there for the Cougars, and that big trade with the Shamrocks. And so this is a guy who's, you already said, is going to be on the field there with not Chris Polk, with Markel. That's going to be already a scary secondary right there. You went the same round, got Chadoy Boley-Jack, solid wide receiver. And I talked about it during the draft. Really good fit for losing, London Lions. I thought he really played exactly like him, just a younger version, and he condemned to be that same guy. And Bill doesn't like but yeah, and then James Bryant, solid cornerback there. You got Bryson Powers, guy you got to build up. We know Giovanni Tasker, 68 overall, but this guy can get the ball. Big time playmaker. And he got Tyler Schmidt, Michael Harding. That's wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong.
We'll take him though.
Yeah, JP Scott. JP Scott. Did you get somebody right there?
I got. I think you're missing. What's he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we had 7.
It's a wide receiver. Yeah, because I got the wide receiver.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's Deshaun Jones.
Deshaun Jones. Yeah, Deshaun Jones.
Sorry,
Deshaun. Sorry, Deshaun, man. Forgot about you.
That. I got Michael Harding on there, but yeah, he went 2 back-to-back wide receivers. With Deshaun Jones, and then of course JP Scott, who you really was glad to add to. As your last piece there. So thoughts on your draft? We go with you first here on your pick here, Rob.
Oh, well, you know how I feel, man. It don't matter what anybody think, man. I don't care about overalls. I got the best safety in the game. And well, in the series. That's how I feel. Nothing against any of you other safeties, any of you other DBs. Y'all feel the same way. I feel I got the best raw player in the draft. That's just how I feel. Sorry, DJ. I'm sorry, DJ. Sorry, Lito. Sorry, JT. Sorry, all y'all boys that went first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever, man. Hey, I got the best dude, man. That's just how I feel. It is what it is. So and y'all know, man. Y'all know if anybody needed a safety, it was the Cougars, man. Straight up. Y'all know I needed one. Because I've been struggling, man. It's been crazy. And so now we got CP, and I'm hyped. I'm hyped, man. Really, honestly, man, if I would have just had CP, I would have been good. But I added some other great players, man. I added Chadoy, the big cheese. As Smitty said, he's gonna be a great fill-in. But see, when you lose a big time player, you gotta go and get players with an S, right? to make up the difference there. So I didn't just get big cheese, man. I wouldn't got Deshaun Jones. Y'all already know what the story behind him was. He wasn't getting thrown the ball. DJ White, UDFA. Y'all already know what time it is there, man. You know what I'm saying? Giovanni I just keep it real, man. You know what I'm saying? UDFA. Hey, so Deshaun Jones, he got a bad rap. And because he got a bad rap, the overall was low. And my boy Deshaun Jones didn't get the shine he could have gotten the draft, but we know he gonna make the Cougars proud, man. He got Coach Roby behind him. It is what it is. We got Giovanni Tasker. Y'all saw what Tasker did in the college series. Y'all saw it, right? Yeah. It is what it is. I got my boy. Look, speed. My boy Tasker. He's fast, man. Now I don't have to have Knight on the special teams no more. I could probably put him back there. JP Scott. I know he was at Auburn. I know he was a small guy. I know he's not the best wide receiver in the league and everything. He's got speed though. Got a lot of speed on him, man. So another special teams guy. I just went and got a whole bunch of little gnats, man, for the Cougar fur, man. You know what I'm saying? And these boys gonna stick to the fur. I'm trying to tell you, man. We gonna do some things. So that's just how I feel. And this is. And don't forget, I'm gonna just say it to y'all. If you don't know, Keone Jones, Markel Wilcox, CP25. Who I got? I got Philly Jones. I got Matt Smith. Hey. We good. And I got James Braun out now. I forgot about my boy James Braun, Ohio State. So, hey, man.
Secondary looking good.
Secondary back, man. We ready.
I just think that some of the teams, especially getting up here towards when we have these higher caliber teams like the Cougars, you're really going after like one or two guys. The rest, you got the picks, you got to spend them, but you don't have holes. Much sort of like the Thunderbirds, sort of like the Celtic Tigers. You don't have that many holes that you really have to fill. And as long as you can get the one guy that you want, you're golden. Not everybody's going to like the draft that you do sometimes, but if you're getting the guys that you want, the guys that you plan on building around, that's a win in the team's book. And I think that's sort of what happened here with the Cougars. Yeah, you can put them at 20, have, middle of the pack, but they needed one thing, if you can label it, maybe two things. So after losing Will Folk, you obviously want to replace a edge rusher like that, but you had two big needs, and you filled one of them with possibly probably the best. He is the best safety in this entire draft class, and with the level of wow, I'm losing the word here. Activity, there it is. Wow, easy word. The level of activity that you're going to get out of a guy like CP. That overall is going to shoot up, and that's going to be a stud and a cornerstone on defense, along with some of the other young guys there. So I think it was a great draft. Same with Big Cheese, Chadoy Bolijak, big-bodied guy that Coach Roby wanted for the whole time. You need a big-bodied guy. You get rid of Lyons, the guy who you can rely on in the crunch time. You go get the one guy that is going to go up and fight for that ball. And I think it was a decent draft. Yeah, the other picks maybe aren't the greatest, but you do still get good filler players and good futuristic players. So I like it. I think it was a solid draft.
Solid pick. It's going to be interesting to see who is going to actually develop to be the more solid safety between Chris Polk and Michael King. Both of those guys are very active. Both of those guys come in star depth, 75 overall. That's a rivalry battle right there, man. Who going to be the best safety between those two out of this class, man? I already know Michael King. He get to it. CP definitely gets to it.
And King play linebacker though.
I don't know about that, but
son. Let me get 9 in the chat. # 9. Can't play linebacker.
Yeah, so it's good. It's going to be, maybe it's going to end up being like that Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed type situation. Who knows? But all right, moving on. Number 19, I got the Austin Armadillos. With the 3 picks they got, they traded away a lot of their picks as well. Got a lot of great, players back for it as well. Didn't really need much. But the players, once again, they got very solid. Chris Braun to give another weapon there to for the offense. We don't know what Devin Wade's looking crazy, you know what I'm saying? But, there's no quarterback that we felt like at the time that could replace, that guy at that moment. So just had to figure out the next best thing, and let's see if we can stack him up with some weapons, see if he might be all right. Yeah, this really fast. Honestly, Chris Braun, I would have to say, even though he was tied up there with Jack Winkleman, he was more so the best wide receiver in his class, because even though he cooled off a little bit at times towards the end, if you really watched his game, he was great at everything. He ran past you, he mossed you, he ran every route, and the guy he was tied with was Winkleman, was at 77, and he was more so of the street guy, utilized his speed and things like that. But we did see him make some catches in traffic. But with Chris Braun, this dude was making every catch he could get his hands on. And so a great weapon right there to add for the Armadillos. You got Tyreek Bridges, great cornerback to add to this team, because cornerback, they really needed that. And then at the end, they got Javon Warren. We know how electric he can be. A lot of work's got to work with him. But imagine, if he works hard enough, and he takes over eventually for Wade. Javon Warren was a very electric quarterback. Who knows what he could turn out to be, in the future. But, we'll have to see.
Anything to get Devin Wade out of there, man. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't like to do it anymore, man. He needs to go back to long shot. And I same sort of sentiment I said with the Aviators, where you got to sort of take into account the type of return on investment they had, because obviously in this case they just didn't have any picks at all. The Aviators had quite a few picks, but they traded away a few key ones. Armadillo, same thing. They had a lot of influx of new players from other teams who were trying to position themselves in the draft. And a team like the Armadillos, who probably beginning of the season, if we also talked about them, didn't peg them as a top 5 pick, maybe middle of the pack. Maybe not hitting the wild card round, maybe just getting out a game, maybe 2 games, but second overall pick, nobody said that was going to happen. They just have a solid team. So I think they'll be right back to contending next year. Maybe not like number 1 contender, but within a arm's length of contending in the ARC. So to get all of the young players and the new core players they got from these other teams, and then to go around and bring on Chris Braun and Tyreek Bridges and Javon Warren, I think it's a great draft for them.
Yeah, solid pickups here by the Armadillos. Still yet to be seen what's going to happen with the quarterback situation. Hopefully, with changes to the mechanics of the quarterback, maybe Dwayne Wade will be fixed, in this upcoming season. And if it's anything, if what happened?
My man said Dwayne Wade.
Oh, Dwayne.
You can catch that.
Dwayne Wade. But Devin Wade. Yeah.
I thought it was funny. So
yeah, man. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, Devin Wade, man.
Yeah.
Devin Wade. Yeah. Hopefully, oh man. Boy, oh boy. Y'all know what I was gonna say, man. Hopefully they get my boy Devin Wade situated and fixed out here. He picked up a nice wide receiver, Chris Braun. So we're gonna see what Chris Braun was all cool in college, though. I know you're a user too. It was all good in college. You want to see if he's gonna be running across the middle now? We got a lot. I just want to see if he's gonna be doing all that. What I say, Bill, razzle dazzle over the middle of the field, because you got some headhunters now. All that wide open stuff. So we gonna see, man. We gonna see. Nah. Chris Braun was an amazing wide receiver. That's a big pickup for the Armadillos. I really like the Bridges, USC guy, and I loved Javon Warren, man. Y'all know, man. Y'all, if y'all want to hear Mix, man, overexcited with joy, go to that game with Javon Warren. Was down all game, man. Took them boys, tied them up, man. The fourth quarter, win the OT, won that thing, man, and got on one knee, put it up in the air.
That was, man.
Got on one knee, put it in the air. Said, pray. He just got that.
Praise the Lord.
I thought he was gonna say Jedediah. I thought he was gonna do a biblical scripture, man. We got a picture of Discord, man. Yeah, that was a great game, man.
What game was that, man? Was that Baylor?
Yeah, I think was it Baylor? Did he come back on Baylor, man? In the fourth, guys, who was it? Y'all remember that game, man? That was a great game by Javon Warren.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah,
man, that was a great game.
He's got a chance. Look, Warren, you got to be an active dude, though. It's still it's not easy taking this job from Wade. He's looked, up and down, but it's not going to be easy taking it from Wade. And you still have to also compete. You might not even be second string because of McMahon there. He's a different style of quarterback, and he's an 80 overall. So it's like, but he's older, and we don't know if I doubt he'll get signed back to a contract. So yeah, but looking at number 18, Houston Voyagers gave them a B. Solid pick with the tight end, Chandler Godspeed. They gave away their tight end to the, I believe it was the Barons. Blanking on who the name of that player was. Gallimore. Yeah, Gallimore, 74 overall. Chandler Godspeed comes in, so a great pick right there. Got John Flowers, outside linebacker here. Probably gets thrown in from time to time. Went 2 back-to-back with the safeties here, Derrickis Daniels and Terminus, but I just felt like every time he selected was like it was solid players, like really solid players. Because, I mean, maybe he's looking at possibly moving Terminus to something else, since he went back-to-back with the strong safeties. But then he also went off the grid for a guy who wasn't even in the series with Jalen Andrews, 70 overall cornerback. So I thought it was a solid draft for the Voyagers.
Yeah, I do too. I think they had a really solid draft. You couldn't go wrong if you picked a tight end, it seemed like, in this draft. So you go and get one early. I like the picks for the safeties and even the linebacker. I think Flowers fell a little bit farther than we thought he was going to fall based off of all reasons that we're very aware of. So a solid pick there, probably a steal at that point. Again, we're seeing some of these teams that they didn't need a lot. They needed a couple of retooling pieces, and the teams are going to find the guys that they needed, not just grasping at everything because they have too many holes to fill. So I think it's a solid draft.
Guys, just to rewind for just a moment, it was Auburn. They were undefeated at that point, man, against Notre Dame, week 4 of season 2.
Dame, that's what it was.
Yeah, week 4 of season 2 against Notre Dame, man. Game-winning passing touchdown from Javon Warren, man. You got to go back and watch that full game, man. That was a game. I just had to scroll back to it in the accolades and graphics, though, man. But yeah. Speaking of the Voyagers, though, yeah, I like what Coach does, man. He just finds a way to pick. He just finds a way, man, to pick players, man. And it doesn't seem like a whole bunch of he doesn't seem like the type of guy who is concerned with the highest overalls and stuff like that. He just kind of seems like he's looking for a guy that is gonna contribute, contributors, to his team. He's not a big name kind of a guy and everything. Obviously, look at the trade he did with Bill, with Cunningham, right? Cunningham. I guess we're not gonna say he's not a big name guy. Bill has made him a big name guy, but he just sees something in Cunningham that was enough to trade his picks for, and that's the guy he went with. And it's kind of scary when a coach does that, man. When the coach says, especially somebody like Baker, who's pretty good at finding players, it's kind of dangerous, man. So you don't know what's going to happen with that situation. Here he's got Chandler Godspeed now. He wouldn't got John Flowers. He wouldn't got John Flowers. And, I was funny seeing the Discord with that after that, man. But I ain't going to put all that out there, though. But Derrickis Daniels, solid player. Somebody kind of under the radar a little bit here. I'm not sure about Terminus. I don't all the way remember Terminus. Was he Ohio State?
Yeah, he was Ohio State.
Yeah.
So Ohio State guy, maybe a bit of a reach there. All good. And obviously Jalen Andrews, man. I can't be mad, man. I think the Voyagers picked up some solid players. But what's dangerous about the Voyagers, you haven't seen the moves they're making. They got some picks for next year, man. Boy, he's putting together something here.
It's going to be a very interesting team to watch, man. See what they do next year, even with those picks, even with the guys they got right there. It's going to be a scary team. Really been turning into a scary team since Baker's came to town. But number 17, we got the Dublin Shamrocks. Gave them a B. Alfred Walker and Michael King in the first round. 2 really big, solid selections for them. They needed help on defense, especially on the outside linebacker position. Alfred Walker, best available outside linebacker at the time. And they also had Michael King up there, like I said, even keel coming out of the draft as CP. And so they got 2 big studs, which they made a trade for to get these 2 picks, so that was huge. Then tight end James Ivanovsky, their tight ends are aging, so this is a guy who's going to be most likely on the field too early. And then they go ahead and get a quarterback in Tyler Maul and then Jacoby Jose. But it was those top 3 picks that they were able to work with the few picks that they did have that really, were big for the Shamrocks. I think it's going to make a huge difference for this team to make them a little bit more dangerous with Tom Wilson.
I don't have a whole lot on this one. I just love their draft. I think we know they had some issues on defense. They plugged 2 big holes with Walker and King, and then they come back around. They get Ivanovsky, who I think is going to be a day one guy, if not at very least in rotational, and I think is the future at that position. I really like their draft. I think that I think this is the exact way that you would hope that it would fall based off of where they were selecting.
Yeah, this is a good draft for me. I really like all of the picks here. Obviously, King. For some reason, man, if for some reason somebody had gone with CP, man, after I moved up, man, it probably was gonna be King, man. King knows that. I wanted CP, right? But yeah, I liked King an awful lot, and I thought this is just a great safety. Great safety, man. So he's going to be awesome for them. And also the other thing that I like here is I like James Ivanovsky, man. I remember Ivanovsky. I thought Ivanovsky had a solid year here in college series. So, that's a pretty good pickup there. And then we got Tyler Maul as well. I want to see what Tyler Maul can do. We saw Tyler Maul at Baylor, and I remember Tyler Maul, he was doing real good. And then he had a couple of games where trying to figure it out, man. In one game, he just came out of nowhere, man. I don't know what it was. I think I was making some jokes about the Bears, man. I think the Bears got smashed on at home or something like that, man. We called them Winnie the Pooh or something like that, whatever we were calling them, man. And next week, man, Tyler Moe said, put it up, Mix. Not today. And he went off, man. So, yeah, Tyler Moe, man, he said, Mix ain't going to be talking trash to me, man. I want to see him develop as well. So good job by the Shamrocks.
Number 16 for the draft rankings went with the London Black Knights. This is a team, for guys who don't know just more information about this team, we had a rule set that was broken by Coach Carter, which cost him a lot of money in cap. So he's shot. And so he had to hit big time on these draft picks that he had, tried to trade some away, get some things for it. And, he had 5 picks. It was a solid draft for him. I gave him a B here. Went and got Samuel Stubbs. He was defensive back of the year from the college series, the Hoover Award winner. And with that, I think he's a day one starter. He's a day one starter right there for the London Black Knights. So he get a day one starter, star dev right there. You had Jacob McCall, a guy who, we already know why he fell out of the first round. He comes here in the second round, and Coach Carter says, "Hey, I'm gonna deal with him. I'm gonna deal with this guy, and maybe he could be the future for this organization." And we can already see it having a little bit of differences because my man Rob just said he was quiet. He already talking about the teen crumpets. He's already chilling. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to get no altercations no more. But we'll have to see if they can keep that. If he can keep that under wraps. But 70 overall star quarterback at the second pick that he got, solid pick right there. Then he goes and gets running back Matthew Holman. Now, we already know why he fell because of his age, 25 years old. Big name for the OG man. Fits really nicely because of that. But star dev guy, we already know Langford Cloud is aging. And so maybe OG can get some burn here. He should be able to get some burn, some rotation, maybe if not this year, maybe next year and things like that. Then he goes to get Ty Gooden. Baylor guy, should know Baylor's going off the board with Coach Carter. But and that's an average pick right there, 65 overall. Then Dorian Grant out of Alabama. He was a solid backup linebacker who's on the field with Charles Turner. No start dev or anything. 67 overall in the last round he got to pick out of, though. I thought it was very solid.
Great draft, in my opinion. Stubbs, obviously a cornerstone for the defense to build off of. After their defense played really great last year, and a lot of that goes to who was the 2 guys that Lattimore at corner, and then who was the linebacker? My gosh, this is horrible.
Which one are you talking about?
The Black Knights.
From
last year.
Oh yeah, Saquon Lattimore, linebacker.
Linebackers.
Roland Carter.
Roland Carter.
Yeah.
Those two guys were killing it last year for this team. And now you're going to add Stubbs to that defense. That's 3 young guys to really build around. And I also thought their biggest needs in this draft were a future quarterback and a running back for both of their veteran players. And they hit it right on the head for where they drafted both of these guys. I think they had a phenomenal draft.
Yeah, it was a great draft by Coach Carter. I really like the pick. I really like the OG pick, man. And only an OG, man, goes up to the registration booth, man, and put 25 on the application, man. You know you're supposed to lie, man. You're supposed to lie on your age. He's put, I'm 25, bro.
Man, had the jersey number and the age at 25.
Kept it all the way real, 25, man. So that's gonna be interesting here, man. See how that goes. I like Dorian Grant. That was an awesome pick as well. Thought he was a little bit better, but hey, it is what it is. Stubbs the second. Stubbs know what time it is. Stubbs gonna be all right. It's community member there. Comes to all the games. Should be good. And you already know. You already know about the headache. Jacob the Headache McCall, man. We already know about Tylenol McCall. McCallinol. That's what we gonna call him, man. We already know about that guy, man. So he already he already on the Instagram, man. He got the uniform on and everything, man. You know, he got it enshrined, it's gold plated and everything. You know, he just walking out here like Ted DiBiase. he just royalty out here, man.
Yeah, McCall DiBiase out here.
The samurai.
Out there buying the expensive swords.
Right.
But,
man.
At 15,
boy.
We got the Oklahoma City Bisons, got them a B. Great pick with Logan Russell in the first round. Star Dev linebacker, 75 overall. Then I made the dumbest mistake in the draft, drafting 2 back-to-back tight ends. But, hey, traded that away. Yeah. First time we ever seen a trade happen during the draft. And so he shipped out of there. Anthony Fry was the selection first before Lucas Butler. But in return, they got a couple of picks for him. He ends up going to the minors. And Lucas Butler is that second tight end they pick. Star Dev guy, a great blocker. I think he's going to be a really solid tight end, especially for an Asian tight end group. Offensive line needed that. Got LaShawn Tate out of Alabama. Ty Simpson to add to the receiving core, which we know is Asian, out of Georgia. Was a great slot guy, kicker. Got Cody Hill. He's starting. Their kicker there currently is 30 years old. He's 71 overall. Now you get a young guy, Cody Hill. I think he's 20. So there goes a day one kicker right there. Offensive guard, Mike Smith. Got him out of USC. Solid guy. Once again, attacking that offensive line. Then just going, with what was best available right there. Don Dang, 66 overall cornerback out of UCLA. And then George Green, offensive guard, I believe, out of Alabama as well. So solid pick, especially, the first 5 really, because he even got the kicker, who's going to be out there starting as well.
Again, great draft. Logan Russell is a phenomenal linebacker. We saw what he did last year in the college series. The whole 2 tight end thing must obviously sucked. You wish they could have got somebody else at that position, but hey, it is what it is. They still end up coming out with 4 potential day one, maybe not starters, but guys that can make an impact. Even Simpson in some sub packages, wide receiver rotations. Great pick, man. I really like this draft. I think the Bisons definitely are onto something here moving forward.
Yeah, same, man. Really like to pick out a Logan Russell here, and somebody I'm curious about is going to be Don Dang, man, UCLA, I believe.
Small guy.
Yeah, small guy. I want to see what he's able to do. Here, that's a user, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Don Dang. I think I've seen him in the chat before. So yeah, I want to see what they're able to do there. Obviously, you know about Iowa, man. Go Lucas Butler, man, all day. Really happy about that there, and so yeah. Solid pickups by the Bisons.
At 14, I got the Salt Lake City Pioneers moving into the B+ ranges now. Very solid selection for them. First pick, they go with Xavier Ease, and that's a huge grab right away. Got aging cornerbacks that were okay, and now you add a young star there. It's going to be a beast for the Pioneers for years to come. Then they had tight end. They didn't really have tight end problems, but the guy was old, and so now you bring in Brady Barrowman out of Florida. This is a guy who's going to be starting day one. Well, maybe not. He'll be in a rotation with Neil Zhang, but another huge selection there. They add to the receiving core with Dorian Culp. Then they get the safety, JoJo Schlizzy. 69 overall, and then offensive lineman there towards the end to add to the depth with Trevor Picard out of Georgia. Thoughts on this?
Another tremendous draft. They hit it out of the park with the first two. Dorian Cope was I'm not a huge fan of some of his stats that came out because we all know he's a little bit on the slower side and he's a smaller guy, but overall those two picks make up this whole draft. They hit it right on the head with both their first rounders, was what you got to do when you have multiple ones. And I really like the Barrowman pick. Yeah, maybe he doesn't start right away, but tight end is a very underrated thing in the league. I think it's not that we have that many. We're gonna have a big influx after this year for sure, but yeah, I really like this. These two first picks make the whole draft worth it, no matter what the rest of the guys' overalls are. I'm looking at both those first rounders, and go ahead, great draft.
Yeah, obviously Xavier Eves and Brady Barrowman, great picks, man. When I saw that number on Brady Barrowman, man, that 77, I was like, sheesh, oh boy, that was a great pick there. So just gonna be interesting to see what the Pioneers are able to do. I like the grade. Funny, Dorian Cope, man. Dorian Cope, I think he messaged me in the Discord, man, during the draft, man. He was like, hey, or before the night before or something. Hey, man, I'm out here, man. He's just looking for a job, man. It was just kind of funny to get a message like that and everything, man. This shows that guys have a lot of respect for you, man. Not sure if you sent that to everybody though, but he definitely sent it to me though, man. He's like, hey, man, I'm out here, man. So it was when I saw him get picked from the Pioneers. I had him in the back of my medulla oblongata back here and everything, So when I saw him get picked by the Pioneers, I said, okay, he landed somewhere. Yeah. So yeah, awesome draft by the Pioneers, man.
At number 13, I got the London Monarchs, B+ as well. They came out, got defensive help on the D-line with August Speller, 73 overall. Huge selection at running back to back up Donovan Rhodes, who they only had on the roster. 75 overall, Cleon Markman, which is going to be a crazy 1-2 punch after the retired Curtis Bailey. Then at the end, you got Zach DeFranza, 70 overall, right there. Offensive lineman at the guard position. Tremont Cartwright, 70 overall. Then you got Brandon Baker. They already got a stacked wide receiving core, and Brandon Baker was a very, very underrated, big-time playmaking wide receiver out of Texas. He's going to the squad. Peter McQuilkin in there helping out at safety. They got young safeties already, but he'll be a great depth guy to build up for the future. Then you got Jack Francis at Oak State, 66, and Jay Williams. So they fill out their whole running back stable. Jay Williams, another underrated guy, to watch out of Utah as well. So I thought it was a very solid pick there, a draft for the Monarchs.
Yeah, this guy, Williams, just didn't really get much. He didn't get any exposure. Utah didn't have the greatest of seasons. We all know this. We were all cheering for him, but they just really couldn't seem to put it together. And even when they did put it together, all eyes were on Fontanez. But overall, a solid draft pick, especially that late. I love their first two picks, Speller and Markman. I think Markman is going to be a perfect complement to Rhodes, Dominic Rhodes there. And I do. What Donovan? What did I say?
You said Dominic. It's all good.
Oh, I'm thinking of the old Colts player. My gosh, Donovan Rhodes. I really liked the DeFranza pick because I was surprised DeFranza was still there at that point. I thought he was one of the best defensive ends we had in this draft this year, and for him to be there at that point was huge. Same with Cartwright. I don't think a lot of people were paying attention to the linemen as much as they would have liked to, because there was quite a few of them here for the picking at the end or in the middle of the draft, and they ended up coming away with a solid one. So I think they overall had a really, really stellar draft to try to make up for, the last year when they didn't really get a draft at all because of how, we'll just leave that alone. We all know what happened.
Yeah, man. Segue in there. He talking about Coach Bozo, man. We finally cleaned it up, man. We done finally cleaned up what Coach Bozo did to the Monarchs, man. Boy, oh boy, must be a beautiful thing here. Monarchs, man. Yeah, this is a tough. This is actually one of my favorite drafts out of all of them, man. I like what they did here. I'm just excited, man. Y'all know who I'm excited about, man. That boy Cleon, man. I'm excited to see what the Monarchs do with Cleon. Listen here, NRC, boy. that's gonna be interesting, man, to see what they're able to do with him. DeFranza, was a good pick as well. You know what? Peter McQuilkin wasn't bad for Penn State. For those who don't know about Peter McQuilkin, he held it down on Penn State. Limited users on that team. He held it down, man. So shout out to Peter McQuilkin. Brendan Baker, that's the Texas guy, man. That's the guy. I think that's the guy I saw make some crazy catches. Or was it Eagles, man? Was it?
It was definitely Eagles. Eagles. He wasn't draftable, but Eagles was really out there making some crazy catches. But all of them were. It was him, King Gossett, and I'm surprised King Gossett didn't get drafted either.
Yeah, King Gossett is still out here in free agency.
So he'll be in free agency.
Don't go spending all your coach points now. Come on, guys. But yeah, he's out there. I want to know what his overall is going to be. But good pick. And obviously Jay Williams. Why am I drawing a blank on Jay Williams? Red and white team. He played Utah, right?
Utah.
Yeah.
Was
Jay
really
Williams
good when he got the chance.
Yes.
Man.
Jay Williams is awesome, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like Jay Williams is better than some of these other picks in the higher rounds. If you ask me, that guy was amazing, man. It's good. So this should be interesting here. With the Monarchs, we already know they had a nice team this year, though.
Definitely.
Like, man, because before we thought this team was done for, man. I think coach tried to pull the wool over our eyes, man, make us think that the team was terrible, man, and because all the reviews were like,
yeah, they turned it around out of nowhere this year,
and they just turned it right around. They just wouldn't beat up everybody
though because of Schrader.
Yeah.
Though. Nobody expected Schrader.
Schrader
to do that.
Yeah, so I don't know what Schrader was doing.
Everybody
man.
wrote him off before the season.
Yeah,
he was terrible the year before, but I don't know what happened this year. It's just, look, boy, win the playbook.
But look, man, who is it though? Who's the king of London though? Who's it? We all want to know who's the king of London, man. We got to find out.
What you mean between the Black Knights and the Bulldogs and them?
Yeah.
I
want to know who's
right
the king of London.
Really between Bulldogs and the Monarchs.
And who's the better international quarterback? Because now we can put Jones in the situation, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting storyline, man. That international side, man. That international side looking pretty regal. There you go, McCall. Regal. You acting regal.
At number 12, I got the Houston Gunners with a B+. They come out, get another Scruggs brother, 2 years back-to-back. Zamara Scruggs, 77 overall. They have some solid corners, but aging. Really needed a cornerback, and Zamara Scruggs left on the board. Had no choice but to take him, go back, and you get Kobe Bamba with the second-round pick. This one was just to make up for Gibson because I felt like I could have went D-line. I remember you guys were talking like, yo, these guys need some D-line. And I'm like, yo, but Kobe Bamba is right here right now, and Gibson's about to be gone. If there was any player in this draft that matched, what'd you say?
Mish pick. Commissioner pick.
Yeah, if it was any player that matched like Devontae Gibson and what he did, hard-hitting guy, making plays all over the place, it was definitely Kobe Bamba. Went out, got him 72 overall. Then we started attacking the D-line here for him. Got Kendrick
wait a second.
Wilson.
I can't be laughing at this. You stabbed me on this one, man.
Which one?
Yeah, this is one of your assassinations, man. Yeah. So I ain't laughing no more, man.
Kendrick Woodson gets to 70. Then we got Chris George from Rob out of Michigan. They had 67. Marshall Brown, 67. Calvin Lewis, and John Vance out of Washington State.
John
so
Vance
this was
refrigeration.
all areas they needed to hit. They hit on. So B+, well deserving of the grade.
I can't disagree here. They had a really solid draft. The biggest need they had was they needed some fresh faces on defense. That defense was getting old, and it was, they knocked it out of the park right out of the gate. They had Zamar Scruggs and Kobe Bamba, two guys who can obviously Scruggs I think can probably start at the very least in the slot. Bamba might not start right out of the gate, but he's going to be raring to go come next year, maybe even the year after, whenever the Gibson hangs it up. I really like this pick. They hit the nail on the head every time for the positions of need, and they didn't reach for players in positions of need. So it's a very, very good draft in my opinion.
Yeah, overall great draft. Hey, Smitty, you already know what I'm about to do, man. You already know what I'm about to do. I'm about to get the when the game come up next season, man. We got to get the ba la 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 bamba, ba la 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 bamba. Whenever you get a little interception or something, man, we got to put it on there. If you get a touchdown, we got to put the la bamba in there, man. We got to, man. That's a great pick, man. That was just a great pick. I like the Kendrick Woodson as well, man. And this is solid here. And you know the size on Kelvin Lewis, man.
Go get it.
That's a big boy.
That way, Bree Jackson struggling.
Yeah.
Throw that.
Oh yeah, throw it up.
So
yeah. Alley. Yeah.
At number 11, I got the Sacramento Condors, B+ as well. Jacob Reed Jr. hit it right out the park right immediately as soon as the draft started with that third pick. Superstar Dev. And we talked about this with the Condors. D-line, the front seven is just really what kills the defense. What was killing the defense of the Sacramento Condors. Could have got D-line, but where was the strength of this draft? The linebacker core. Definitely would have took JT if he was there, but of course Bulldogs come in and they go ahead and swoop him up. So, hey, Jacob Reed, next best guy. You need this guy so Ray isn't getting trucked by these running backs, by these dudes keep coming in the third level. So now you got a guy who can really help you out with allowing him to play his position now. So I think this Condors defense, just with him alone, is going to be extremely solid with that pick. And that's what really rose them up with this grade right here. Because the rest of the picks, it wasn't too much, but they still added some good key guys. John Bales automatically is the number 2 quarterback, 68 overall. The backup they got was a 66. And Bales was a solid quarterback out of LSU. So this guy can dev his guy and be a nice solid backup for Chase McCoy when he, hangs it up. He's 29 years old now, so he's getting up there. And, he will be that guy. You got Michael Rochester, very solid wide receiver out of Clemson. Yep. So they add him to the group along with that dangerous wide receiving core. You got a center helping out with the offense. Condors really didn't need any offensive line like that. Their line is young and very great. But they also add a depth center with Mark Fitzpatrick. Like that's solid draft pick right there. You got depth and a guy who can really fill in nicely and be able to hold his own. David Kiso coming here too for the cornerback position. 69 overall. They got Jerry Roll. I thought he was a very underrated DN out of Auburn. Really good, solid guy. And then Emmett Buckner out of USC, DN, 66. Thoughts on this draft?
They didn't have the most lucrative draft outside of the first pick, but the first pick is going to be such a game changer for this team because not only do you drastically upgrade the linebacker position, which was definitely needing of an upgrade, but because the linebacker core is better, like you said before, Smitty, Ray in the back now is going to be able to play a lot more, not with a little bit less pressure on him. He's got help now on that defense, and when you have the big hole like that or multiple holes like that on defense, it doesn't matter how good you are. One player can't do it. But now they have a guy at 2 different levels that they can build around, and it's basically going to make 2 different areas of the defense better because they added that one guy. So I think that pick right there alone makes sense that they're way up here at 11.
Yeah, man, my boy had my boy Ray out there like Lido, man, just winded, man, all over the place, man. Had him zipping back and forth. I thought somebody was using Ray, man. Left, right, left field, right field, left field, right field, getting ran over. So now we already know the respect that Jacob Reed, man. Jacob Reed, his player, man. That guy commands a lot of respect, man, over the middle there. So, and what that does is it basically like he just shuts down a whole area. Like I said, I was talking about in the in the draft and also during the games. I mean, the guy can play man and zone. He can attack the run. And what's going to be phenomenal about that is that now Ray don't have to cover a whole side of the field that he was doing, all last season now. So that's going to be awesome just to see, Reed out there shutting it down. And then you're really going to be able to see what Ray can do now. And that's going to be amazing. So I just like that pick there. I do like David Kiso though. I think Kiso is a sleeper here. That's a sleeper pick here. Jerry Roll a little bit too as well. Those are sleepers there. So we're going to see what happens. And also to highlight too, because I did like Michael Rochester from Clemson. Mm-hmm. I liked him an awful lot. And also, you know what? I think that John Bales is better than it seems. I think that he played on a team that struggled because of the run game, and I think that he did a good job. And so it's going to be interesting to see him develop as well.
And now we get into the top 10 for draft grades. At number 10, got the San Diego Crusaders. Gave them a B+. We thought these guys were going to go running back. We was hoping he'd go running back because, we know who's there. He was a great running back this year out of free agency, but, he's 27 years old. We don't know if that's going to be consistent. Instead, they go offensive lineman, but the offensive lineman they chose was a stud in Dustin Brooks out of Notre Dame, 75 overall superstar lineman. And so, we was like, okay, that pick, maybe he would have missed, could have got a running back there with Amir Williams or whoever. Mm-hmm. But that was a great offensive lineman right there. He already got one of the greatest offensive linemen with Deion Gunn. So now you add another guy on the other side of the tackle. Then you go ahead and you address the defense some more at the ends because, it's starting to get old there. Jose Ortiz, they get him out of UCLA. Then they stumble upon Marlon Marshall at running back. So they still address that running back need in the third round with Marlon Marshall, who was a beast running back out of Clemson. You really didn't see him get to do too much because they really started passing more so. But this guy could catch, could run, he could do everything. Star dev guy, huge pickup. See him being a starter in the near future. You got Julian Barnes, I think a slept on. He's not like a main guy, but he's a situational guy. Throw the ball up, that's all you need to do. 6'6", he's going up there bagging him, taking it down. And you got Braden Dunn, nice wide receiver, fast wide receiver out of Alabama, underrated. So they got weapons. This was a great draft. And then, Zach Emerson, the lower end, 64 overall lineman you got to work on. Andre Rose, and then Jorge Torres Aguilar. But I thought this was one heck of a draft for the Crusaders, who I thought wasn't going to have that great of a draft if they didn't pick a running back. But when they started doing these in the later round, I was like, oh, okay, coach back.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Go ahead, Bill.
Sorry. Yeah, I think Dustin Brooks knocked out of the park. For him to be sitting there, obviously it's you don't know exactly who you're going to be taking depending on the particular player, but even if you didn't know, taking a right tackle there, I mean that's going to change the way that your run game works and the way that your pass game works. Now they have, I think, give it a year or two, they probably have the best tackle tandem in the RFL with Gunn and Brooks. We know Brooks is going to develop. And then he come back around and get Marlon Marshall in, I think, the fourth round, was it?
It was third.
Because he was sitting there for a while.
Yeah, got him in the third, man.
You sure it wasn't the fourth?
He got him in the second day. Yep.
Either way, third or fourth, that's middle of the draft. I think that's a huge pickup. And yeah, man, the rest, filler guys, maybe future players.
No, it was the fourth.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the fourth.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah, Brooks and Marshall to me is like you win that draft right there with those two picks. The rest of the guys, you got to bring them along a little bit, but they'll get there, and you get two big needs taken care of. So definitely a A+ there for me with those two guys.
Yeah, man. Y'all see how big the flash is in the back of this overlay here, man? That's how big the Hadouken is here, man. My boy Botch wouldn't did the Hadouken in the first round, man. It got because we was trying to tell him the Benedict, man. We don't know about Benedict. And he said, Hadouken. I'm going to go ahead and give me the best guard, the best tackle. That's how big the Hadouken is, guys. It's a fireball. That's solid. Then what's crazy is he goes and he gets Marlon, man. You know what I mean? So look, I'm not gonna lie, Coach Bachagalupi, man. You're an interesting guy, man. Sometimes we give you a lot of grief and everything, man. On some of the things you do and everything, man. But I tell you, man, you deep fried me on this one, man. When I saw that
like
pic,
those Instagram
like the
graphics.
posters, like the Instagram photos, be deep frying them. You and rolling deep fried posters, man. You deep fried the first round with the OT. Did a great job. You went and got Jose Ortiz. I like that, but hey, he turned around and get Marlon Marshall. Now he got Benedict, and Benedict don't work. If Benedict is a sophomore, whatever you want to call him, a second year slump, he got Marlon Marshall. He got a guard, and he still got his other backs, man. So, hey, that was awesome, man. I like Braden Dunn. I like Andre Rose. I think Andre Rose got another one, man. Just suffering from the quarterback. quarterback issues, man. But hey, Jorge Torres Aguilar, JTA. Jorge Torres Aguilar. My guy. He's in there. That's what's up, man.
At number 9, we have the Orlando Wizards. This is another team that, once they trade out the first round, I was like, man, what is this guy doing? Hopefully he has a good draft still. And he ended up having one. Gave him an A- here. They get Lito Loso. Then they come back in the second round. Very shocked to even see Leo Moon here. And 71 overall, Leo Moon gets taken to the Orlando Wizards. Huge pick right there for the Wizards. Because, we figured, DJ, especially having the first overall pick, should have probably been here to the Wizards. And to be like, okay, I'm going to trade that away, get some capital and things for it. Yeah. And I'm going to go get Lito and still get a quarterback. He had a lot of faith hoping that one would fall here, and luckily enough it did, with Lito, with Leo Moon. Darius Hodge here, the third pick, 65 overall. We know what he brings to the table in terms of activity and things he can do. Still a lot of work to do for his player, though, even with all those reloads. Kind of figured he could have waited longer, though, to be able to get him maybe in the fourth to get a higher player and then get Lito, get Hodge where he got Parker Gibson here. Parker Gibson, 70 overall center just sitting there. Then you got 70 overall defensive end and Javon Cruz. Then you got Hatcher, the lineman, tight end Dylan Ferguson, and running back Kareem Belrich, which it was great to watch at Washington, speed guy. So I thought this was a very solid draft for the Wizards to help build this team after what happened this past season.
I again, some of these guys are going to be building off of future potential when it comes to activity for these prospects. And I feel that it was sort of the case with this draft, and I think it's gonna pay off big time in the long run. They don't get DJ, they fall back to 5. They still get Lito, the guy that I think that was on his mind from the get-go, no matter what. Sort of like that note on in Draft Day. You guys see that movie? He puts that note in his pocket, and no matter what, this guy. And I feel like that's what he did with Lito. I'm gonna take Lito, and everything else is just gonna fall where it falls. Luckily for him, Leo Moon falls. And then he ends up getting Darius Hodge a little early, but this guy is going to develop. He's here all the time. I don't remember the last stream we had where Darius Hodge wasn't in the chat. He's going to be around. He's going to help dev his player. Parker Gibson, very, very, very underrated guy. I had this guy very high on my board myself. I think he's a guy that can play all 5 positions if need be on the line. He's got the size to do it, and I think with a little bit of work, he can fit any role from tackle to center. So I love the draft. I think that the Wizards had one of the best drafts. I would put them even higher than 9, but I mean, obviously everybody has their own opinions, and maybe I'm forgetting about somebody else's draft and why they're back at 9. I just think they knocked it out of the park for what he did and what sort of went against the grain for what everybody expected him to do.
Yeah, I was giving my boy a little grief, man. I didn't like when he, traded away. He was like, man, just take DJ. Come on, Rummel, man. Rummel, he had a plan, man. He had a solid plan, and he basically just flanked. He flanked, and he pulls Lito, and man, like it was just like everything changed, man. Everything turned around when Leo fell in his hands. That was just crazy. Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, whoa, like. Leo? He stepped back. Sometimes, sometimes you gotta take a couple of steps back to move leaps and bounds forward. I think that's kind of the story, the moral of the story here. Because I didn't see it at first, man. I was like, man, just take DJ, save the franchise, save the coaching career, save everything right now. And Rummel went with his instinct. That's what we like. I heard the rumors. Rummel was like, man, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should take Lito, man. They might try to fire me, blah blah blah. I heard the stories, Rummel. But, Rummel he played it smart. He's a smart guy. I always like Rummel. He knows I'm a big fan of his team, especially when he had the Marshals. And I'm a fan of him. I like the guy. That was interesting, man. He went and got Money Hodge. Hodge, you already know, man. You know how I feel. You know how I feel about you, Hodge, man. You know what I'm saying? So just show and prove, man. Do your thing. Gibson, obviously Gibson, Cruz, all these guys are great. Dylan Ferguson, man, that's one of them. Dylan Ferguson, I really like Ferguson a lot. That's a good one, and also Kareem Belrich as well. Just a great draft by the Wizards. They making people respect the purple, man. First we weren't respecting the purple, man. The purple was kind kind of shady, man. Now the purple, man, Lito out there. Lito with the brand, and Lito luxury, man. He gonna come make the purple pop. You know what I mean? So they up here with, what they doing in the chat with the purple. I can't put that on the podcast, but I know what they doing with the purple. They try to rebrand everything. You gotta take the Wizard serious, man. This an OG now. This ain't a Wizard no more. It's an OG. Oh man.
So with number 8, we got the Toronto Huskies. Gave them an A-. They needed linebackers for sure, and they started out with a great one with Dan Glissick out of Oregon, 75 overall. These guys got a lot of solid players out of this draft, man, to kick it off. I mean, then they got Mike Crowder, one of the biggest knocks, of course, the speed at 82, but still, we saw what Mike Crowder was able to do. This guy was a beast at Clemson, 75 overall guy. 3 straight 75 overall players for the Toronto Huskies as they went corner again with a faster guy, with Jason Alexander, 75 overall guy to UCLA. Then they get a wide receiver. Why not? Add one to the roster here. And I guess to make up for the loss of Ross Deerdorf. Well, I guess I know because I'm the one that made the pick. But to make up for the loss of Ross Deerdorf, they go ahead and get Declan Ward. Then they get a backup quarterback. They already got Hansen there, but I haven't seen Hansen be active for a while, my guy. So, hey, we on you, man. We on you. You got Trevor Campbell pushing for your spot. Then they go get a star running back out of Joe Duncan. Very underrated guy out of Wisconsin. And we already know that Deshaun McCorders is aging. He's dropped down to, I believe, a 75 overall now, 31 years old. So Joe Duncan will be that complimentary back to back up with Leonidas. Yeah, Corey Leonidas. Leonidas, who's a beast. Then you got a linebacker to fill in more linebacker spots. They went 3 straight with Hunter Gray, Jojo Lozano, and Bryce Boley. So all 3 of those guys, solid picks there to get. I think every single pick they got was just on the money. Helped booster this team a lot.
Yeah, another huge haul in the draft. 3 guys at 75. There's some teams who didn't get that at all for any pick. Tremendous find, and it's on all positions that they got severely hit with for the regression area. Linebacker core or free agency, I should say. Both, either way, they got hit there in corner, and they filled both of those positions with arguably one of the best linebackers in the draft. Arguably one of the better corners in the draft. 2 of them. 2 of the better corners in this draft. And they have their quarterback of the future potentially in Trevor Campbell. And then, hey, Joe Duncan.
Dunking on him.
Everybody want to hate on Wisconsin. Guess what? They're pretty good. Yeah, I'm watching you guys. I'm waiting. I know there's a lag. I'm gonna come down here in about 3 seconds. I'm gonna see you guys complaining about Wisconsin. But guess what? All those guys that you were complaining about, all coming in with stars and getting high praise out of this draft. So anyway, yes, Huskies had a tremendous draft. You could put them up there with the best draft, really, with all of these 75s they got. So the rich get richer, right, Reed?
Yeah, I don't know why Smitty keep on trying to make my life a living H. I don't think I can say the H word, man.
Well, I guess in that context is all right, but I guess we can leave it out.
Yeah, living H. I don't get it, man. I don't understand it. But yeah, you told me that the Huskies is getting washed. So I already knew a great draft was coming from them. So they got some solid players, some good young talent. I don't know about all that stuff Bill's praying about.
That Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, man. It's Wisconsin stuff. You about to see Joe Duncan get no yards this year.
Yeah, okay.
Yards. Sorry, Bill. No yards.
Hey, yo. I'm dead.
Dunkin' Donuts. That's what we're doing to him.
That's where you're going to be at after the first year don't work out, huh?
Yeah, man. We got Ratty in the cheese trap, and we got Dunkin' Donuts, man. It's going down, man. Pause up, man. Moving on.
At number 7, we got the Chicago Tigers, A-. Another team that really hit it out the park here. Kai Cash. Looks like he's going to be the quarterback of the future. Gave themselves a chance, with the quarterback that they had there. Just really in his first year. He showed some flashes, but, Kai Cash is that guy. Should be able to win that spot. Still will be a battle for it, but Kai is looking like the front runner. Huge first-round pick there. Second round, they get Zan Nasir out of Georgia. Best tight end out of the draft. We saw limited things from him, but it was because all the weapons around him was so great. And now, with their aging tight end, he gets to team up with his old teammate there. Huge weapons to add. Got Walker Wilson, 71 overall, strong safety. Then what really kicks it off here, you got Bryce Madden. Now you got Drake Sandstrom, running back out of Michigan. That combination is about to be deadly in the run game. Then you got Ali Melendez, cornerback there to help them out just with depth issues. And then 67 overall, Pete Copeland, lineman there. And David Lowry out of Oklahoma, 66.
As soon as they got Kai, man, I knew they were going to have a good draft. I felt that Kai was the clear-cut number 2 quarterback in this draft, and the Tigers go and get him, regardless of how good Billy Johnson is overall-wise. He's the future of that team. Zayn Nasir, he just came out of nowhere. I did not see him coming out with that kind of a rating, but, man, they hit him out of the park with that tight end. Holy moly. Walker Wilson, another solid pick. They killed the draft just like the Huskies. They didn't have as many 75s, but they had the 70, was it 76, 78, 74. Yeah. Huge draft pull for the Tigers who desperately needed it. This team is heading in the right direction, and now they got some of these playmakers from last year and this year to really push this team forward, move into the future, and they got good things ahead of them.
Yeah, man. This is crazy, man. I was when I saw Cash, I already knew Cash was gonna go to him, man. When I saw them pick Nasir and saw that 78, man, my mouth just dropped. Y'all saw me in the stream. I was like, what? Well, he better than Burrowman?
Yeah.
I was shocked, man. I was shocked he's better than Burrowman, man. Hey, I wasn't looking for a tight end though. Y'all know I won't look at so.
Wish I was.
So, yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah. When I saw that, I already knew that what time it was, man. Great draft by Chicago, man. Really nothing else to say there. Sandstrom, solid pick as well. And you already know how I feel about Walker Wilson.
And now we move to number 6. Got the San Antonio Dreadnoughts, A-. First round pick, Cam Perkins, man. This is a team that knows how to utilize their running backs. And boy, did they get a beast one. Best one out of the class here. Overall wise, it could have been 1A, 1B with Amir Williams and everything. But Cam Perkins, to be in that backfield of the Dreadnoughts is just crazy. They go in round 2, they get Owen Jack. Then they get Frank Champion, offensive lineman from Miami there. So 370s off the bat, high good overalls. Even the 60s they got here with DeAndre Wilcox, solid safety there for him. Lamont Hart, an underrated defensive tackle, solid guy right there.
Schmidt is my guy. That's my linebacker.
That's probably where I switched it up. Yeah. So who was the wide receiver they got?
I'm not sure.
See.
Which round?
Looks like the 6th, but then they got Dawson Banks here. Is they
It could have been Hart. It was a Hart.
Lamont Hart's there. He's at D tackle.
Oh, it's Nicholas Harris, the cornerback.
Oh, Harris was
he
was
hold
drafted
on.
somewhere else.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was drafted to, if I'm not mistaken, Thunderbirds. We just called his name. I forgot where.
No, this must have been earlier because remember they traded their 6th and 7th away.
They had a Terrell. Did they have a Terrell Lewis? No, that's the Diablos. Dreadnoughts had Perkins, Jack, Champion, DeAndre, Lamont, Dawson. I don't know why I have Nicholas Harris on this.
So what it was, they probably forgot to eliminate the 66 one there. Mm-hmm. So we'll kick rid of Tyler Schmidt there. And yeah, it was Dawson. So solid pick. Draft, I mean.
Yeah. Perkins' pick alone was crazy. I didn't see that coming. I didn't really know for sure what other position they really needed to target desperately, or if any at all, because again, the Dreadnoughts are a very successful team. They don't have a lot of holes. But given the fact that Javonte Gilliam is getting up there, they decided to go ahead and just take the biggest playmaker they could find in the draft, and there's no better than Cameron Perkins. So I think that alone is gonna change that offense. But then you bring in Owen Jack, who another guy just like Leo and McCall fell a little bit farther than what a lot of people thought they were going to. And now you're almost like, man, are we going to see a whole type of offensive shift in San Antonio with Owen Jack at some point taking over for Matt Jones, who we thought a year ago was going to be the future of this franchise. Now this is up in the air after, where the board fell for the Dreadnought. So another great draft. They didn't really seem to miss on any pick at all, even though some of them weren't home runs. None of them were real duds at all. So that's some good drafting right there, and they definitely deserve to be up here at 6, maybe even top 5.
Hey, you already know I'm always on Frankie head, man. He just greedy, man. He greedy. Here's what it is. Y'all know he greedy. He moved all the way up to take Cam Perkins away from the Steamers. Nothing to Amir Williams, but we all know Justin Jones wanted Cam Perkins. That was where he was slated to go. All the mock drafts, everybody knew that them backs were supposed to fall, man. Frankie ain't need Cam Perkins. He know he ain't need him. Greedy. That's all there is to it, man. Went up and got him. Now his offense has got 10 halfbacks. How are we gonna use them all? Matt Jones running all over the place. I don't know what he's doing over there in San Antonio, man. But hey, got Owen Jack. Cool. That's a good pick there. I think he needed Owen Jack. I like Frank Champion. He filled a hole there. I believe that I want to say he traded away a guard or something like that this season for something, man. I can't remember did he trade an offensive guy for a defensive guy or what he did. He did something on the O-line. So the Frank Champion pick is good. Everything else like average, but he ain't need Cam Perkins, man. He did all that for Cam Perkins, man. He greedy. Always backstabbing, man. That's how Frankie do. Y'all think Frankie cool and everything, man. Frankie a backstabber. He is. Ask Jacob Reed. He'll tell you.
Now we get into the top 5 drafts here. At number 5, we have Bill, Columbus Explorers with the A-. He already just, killed the draft with the first overall pick, taking Daryl Johnson, which just took this Explorers team, making them even more scary and dangerous as they already were. 78 overall superstar dev quarterback. Then he goes and addressed the defensive line, which he's already got a solid defensive lineman there. And he gets a young Devin Andrews. 73 overall. Then he gets Patrick McNeil, the community member center, Christian Williams. He took a little bit of a reach on Jason Springs. Then he got the kicker, Justin Lawrence. Was this the 30-year-old guy?
Yeah, it's a 30-year-old kicker.
Yeah, so he got the 30-year-old kicker, gave him a chance, so I guess. And Sean Willicks.
Wait a second. Hold on, man.
And then Jaden Ball.
Bill, this kicker 30, Bill.
30 years old.
Yeah.
Right? He said, why not? I mean, he already stacked, so why not give the
What
old
else
head a
do I
chance?
need?
Oh, that's how they talk over there in the NRC. Privilege.
I'm just speaking truth. I don't need much else.
What else do I need? So you passed on the 25-year-old, but you take the 30-year-old kicker. Because you told me, you know what you told me? You said, I'm not taking a 25-year-old. 25-year-old, he's 25. He's going to be. Now you wouldn't got the 30-year-old kicker. Okay. He going to age before we even start the season, Bill. He going to be 31 by January.
My backup linebackers are about the same level as you're on. And my kicker is very, very inaccurate. So I went and got the most accurate kicker at a position that can last until they're in their 40s. So 30 really isn't that old for a kicker. And
he's going to be 40. I think he's going to retire before the season starts, Bill. He that old. He need an AARP card.
All right.
All right. All right, Bill. What's your thoughts on your draft, my man? How you feeling about this Explorers draft?
I don't know. I thought I killed it. I got Daryl Johnson, franchise.
He don't know why he's 5. He don't know why he's 5, Smitty. He don't know why he's 5 overall. He had the best draft.
I didn't have.
He got DJ.
Draft. I didn't have the best draft. No, I didn't. I don't think I had the best draft. I for some reason I assumed that 2 of the top, one of the best tackles out of the draft almost the entire season would be somewhat serviceable, but he ended up being not at all, which really surprised me. I didn't think he was going to be that low. But again, once I answered a few positions, I really didn't feel like there was much else that I needed to fill. So I went ahead and just took shots on guys.
Oh, which one are you talking about? Devin Andrews?
No, Springs.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about defense tackle. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I heard his Springs name a lot more than I heard some of the other guys that came in like 8 overall.
Let me ask you, man, is it possible that Springsky and Springs got swapped?
Nah. Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at the statistics and things like that, yeah, Springs wasn't what you thought.
Really?
Look at
Nah.
Bill's face.
I'm pretty sure the rest of the league thought otherwise.
That's
Hold on,
cool.
I
They
gotta
can
do it
think
one
that,
time.
but look
I
at
gotta
the,
do
I mean, it happened to a few guys anyway. But I wanted to get the future, so DJ was the pick. I needed to get him. The fact that Devin Andrews fell to me in the second was just phenomenal. I didn't think he was going to be available. I had him as my number 2 D tackle. I wanted to get a Nathan Schmidt replacement. I wasn't even sure I wanted to bring him back. I go and get the guy that's going to replace him, even fits the type of like the mold that I wanted at D tackle. McNeil, another excellent pick. I needed another offensive lineman, so I went ahead and where did that go from?
I don't know how that happened.
Either way, I thought that McNeil was another great pick because I needed some more young linemen to sort of build off of. And Christian Williams, he might not be the best overall, but guess what? The guy's going to be around, and he's got some serious speed, and I can't wait to see what he can do. So I think it's I think I had a great draft. After that, I took some shots on guys. Yeah, you can make a comment about Justin Lawrence being old, but kickers last until they're 41. I think we had a 43-year-old Harrison Buckner in the RFL for like 2 years. And my kicker is anything but dependable half the time. So why not go get the guy that was the most dependable in the college series and try to replace him? Other than that,
Hey, Bill,
those linemen are.
I don't need the explanation about your kicker, man. Who cares? I don't care about your 31-year-old kicker. You got Daryl Johnson. That's all I care about, man.
I care about a lot more than
tough,
that.
man. Y'all gonna be tough, man. Bill can't do. You can't never do nothing great enough for Bill, man. Bill is always just extra with it, man. It's all good. Look, you got.
What am I
Daryl
extra
Johnson, it's all
about?
good. You got it, man. It's all good. You
What
got
was
a
I
beast.
extra about?
Bro, it's just a 31-year-old kicker. Who cares? I don't care if he's 31. I was just making a joke because when do you ever
Somebody
hear about a
said-
31-year-old kicker?
Oh, before
Was he
that,
out of JUCO?
no, he was at Florida State. But yeah, somebody trying to say that Springs didn't give up any sacks. Now, he didn't do too bad. Now he gave up 4 sacks. He had 1 pancake.
4.
Now that's 4 sacks is not that bad. But then you have to equate the fact that his overall. See, a lot of people will look at certain stats and think that somebody's solid because of certain stats, but you got to also understand what they were as a player in college first. You could have a hands down great season, but if you don't have certain attributes that are high enough, those aren't going to translate well over to the league. You know what I'm saying? So if you only got 79 strength, like this is one thing I'm going to say to you, which is probably going to blow your mind, Rob. Guess how much hit power Chris Polk got?
What?
79.
Oh, that's beast.
Yeah, I mean, but
That's
like
beast.
people would, I thought you'd be shocked. I think most people would have probably thought it was like 85 or something. But see,
For coming
that's
into the league?
yeah, for coming
A
in the
rookie?
league. But I'm saying if he had an 80 something, it would have been higher. But I'm
What
saying,
is a Koye?
I don't know.
hit power?
His is higher than his. His is probably like 90 or something. But what's
I
it
think
called?
79 is good.
79 is good.
Just
But
coming
I'm
in.
saying if he coming in, that's his max though. I maxed him out with the hit power because he showed he was able to hit. But if he had a higher hit power than that in college, on the college series, he would have had a higher hit power. That's what people don't understand. I can't give them something more than what they didn't have in college. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's the reason why, you can look at some guy and say like, oh, he's this and that, but that's not the truth because he played good, but his attributes in certain areas just was not, up to par. Can't be better. So after that, let's go and move on to 4. At 4, we got the
Jason Springs was
Sacramento
robbed.
Miners. What you say?
Jason Springs was robbed.
The Sacramento Miners gave them an A, and got them at number 4. TJ Metcalf was pretty much a nice little steal for him in the first round right there. You got Kenny Forrester, second round, 73 overall guy out of Texas. You had Jakari Torres, now 1-2 punch with Damani Manuel and him. Perfect, 73 overall. I still can't believe that Pavo Frederick fell all the way down here, got picked. 74 overall wide receiver going to the Miners, who's already got a really good wide receiving core with the Dariantre McAvelli and Buck Albridge. Now you got Pavo. Like, that receiving core is crazy. Then you got Glenn O'Callaghan, linebacker, 69 overall, beast. Xavier Beckford III, You got Jake Newhall. He wasn't a high overall, but we could tell that was mainly because of speed that he picked this guy. And then he goes out on the limb and picks a guy who wasn't even in the series and drafting Oscar Ayers. So, and he's a 70 in the last round. So these guys killed with every pick they just about had.
They had a very, very solid draft. As much as this draft was really, really good, I do feel that there was like one or two teams that I could that we've already saw that I would actually put up right next to them, if not above them. One of them was I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's a couple that I've seen so far that I really, really liked. But this Miners team, I'm waiting to see who's in front of them, because I know a few teams. Obviously, we've already talked about the majority of them, but they didn't really get any like, holy crap, this guy is gonna just destroy rookie year type of player. But they got so many guys that are gonna come in already sort of ready to take the next step, but maybe just need a little bit more polish on them before they get put out on the road, And I really like this. I really like this draft. I'm not gonna lie, Metcalf coming off, seeing that he was a 72, I'm like, oh man, that's not a great start to the draft, just because you're sort of hoping to get 75 to the 78 range in the first round, but not everybody can do that. But to come back for Forrester, Torres, I thought was an excellent pick. Frederick, like you said, that I think is just a staple to how many receivers we have in this league. You can't have all these great receivers and then expect them all to still go early in the draft. It's just not a huge need sometimes. So overall, tremendous draft for them. Definitely deserve a very high ranking in this list for sure.
Yeah, he pulled a lot of studs, man. Just ridiculous. And I was seeing all them 70s coming off, man. Just great, man. Yeah. I actually thought Beckford was going to be a little bit better there, but hey, nonetheless, man, still great first 4 picks there, and ended it off with the 70 overall DN, man. Jeez. Yeah.
All right, so now we move into the top 3, and at number 3, we got the Portland Riverhogs with an A. First round. This is a team really needed an offensive lineman, and they got the best in the draft for Connor Hawk out of Miami, 78 overall superstar. Then another need, linebacker. Needed a lot of those, and they got a few. Charles Turner out of Alabama, star dev, 74 overall, huge. They needed also some guys to fill in at wide receiver. They only drafted one, but we already know their wide receiving core is stacked, and they get Tavion Blue out of Wisconsin.
Who?
Tavion Blue out of Wisconsin, star dev.
Where is he from?
But also, like, that is 3 star dev guys, and make it 4 in a row with Sir Lewis Scott. So they've addressed the linebackers, receiver, and then they go get a defensive tackle and Bruce Rivers out of Alabama, backup running back for Dre Shivers, Vincent Valentine, who's also kind of slept on out of Penn State, and another extra lineman for depth in Joe Gabriel. So I thought every single one of those picks was huge.
They definitely a huge draft for the Riverhogs. Again, a couple of guys I was surprised were here. Charles Turner, I thought he was going to go earlier than that, but we were so many good linebackers. I think guys are just like not even sure which ones to take, or if there were so many that maybe they all weren't that good, because there was guys that left the second, third round that I didn't think were going to get past, the second round at all. But Riverhogs scooped them up with pleasure. Charles Turner was a great player throughout the college series. Connor Hawk, obviously, easy day one starter and potential, big time role player on that offense for that offensive line as they transition into more of a young, youthful future. Man, I really like Tavion Hall. You guys know I'm a Wisconsin guy, and you know what? I wouldn't keep talking about Wisconsin every time they're brought up if you guys wouldn't stop overreacting about how they play. If you stopped it, I would stop, but you keep going, so I got to keep going.
Now you know how I feel when it comes to CT. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I don't care. I'm still going to do it, though.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You saying that if you would stop, that's all it is, man. If they would just stop.
And then they come through with this tremendous pick of Sir Lewis Scott, right, Rob?
Backstab nation.
Yeah, another one, man.
Oh man,
you're wrong, man.
Part is
you're wrong, Smitty.
Guys
ain't
don't
right,
know
huh?
this. We were all on the phone the day of this pick,
were.
and Rob was sitting there like, "Yeah, I want Scott. I like Scott. You don't think Scott's gonna be good? Because I didn't think he was gonna be that good. Sorry, Salute Scott, if you're active. I just wasn't. 275-pound linebacker or whatever. I'm like, what is this? Smitty's like, hey, I must have snatched this guy up. Let me just go ahead and take him along with all these other 70s I keep finding.
Yeah, bro. That was highway robbery, man. Y'all just don't understand it, man. I can't believe it. Great,
Muggy.
great draft. All I can say, man. Rest in peace to my pick at 10, though. Messed up, man. It's all good.
At number 2, we got the London Bulldogs. A rating here. Jermaine Taylor, best player in the draft overall wise. Probably best player in the draft period. But 80 overall, 30 sacks in college. These guys just absolutely bolstered their defense over the offseason. And with this addition, is really scary. Not only that, they had 3 first-round picks, and they got Jake Winkleman. And with Jake Winkleman, that's a great wide receiver to add to the roster with speed with the aging group. You know, so like that's another out of the ballpark selection right there. But what makes him not get an A+ is this third one right here. Michael Flota at the 3rd. Great kicker. Like, I think he could have definitely still got Michael Flota and another high caliber player there with that 3rd pick that they had in the first round. And with that, that's why they're not sitting at number 1 for me. I just feel like, Flota's a great guy, great kicker, and he should be, a high drafted guy for the position. But who gets a kicker in the first round of a draft? I'm still going to air you out on this podcast, Jake, because, I just don't understand it. So Florida goes, and like I said, still not a great player to add, but first round now. Second round, they get, I think this was the second round, Trey Simeons, strong safety out of UCLA, solid pick right there, 70. They got Keenan Grant, cornerback, 68. Julio Gonzalez, 68 at the end, and then Malcolm Love at the end. So nothing else really wound, but those first 2 picks, man, really did them in to have one of the best drafts here in this year's draft.
Man, the beginning of this draft, they wrecked it. Jermaine Taylor, Jake Winkleman.
Should I have my bell for that third one, but it's
and like, look, I get it. Your hand was forced, I guess, because there was comments that I found after the fact from certain other coaches that they were going to take him at the beginning of the second round, which don't make it any better. Florida, I know you're out there. And I love you,
I'm
man.
pretty sure
You're a great kicker. And none of this has anything to do with us thinking you're not a great player, because you're probably going to be one of the best kickers in the RFL in a couple of years, because you have a great player coming straight out of college. You already got an award named after you. This has nothing to do with your player as a whole. You just don't take a kicker in the first round.
Yeah.
There was guys out here. They went ahead and got Malcolm Love. So they had quarterback on the mind. Who was all out here at quarterback at their pick in the first round? They had Leo Moon, Owen Jack, Jacob McCall. They had much more than that available to them. They went after that. They went and they got Trey Simeons, very fine pick. Kobe Bamba was available at this pick. There is so many other guys that were there at the 31st pick that they could have taken. Yeah, I know it's easy to judge in hindsight, but you can't tell me that if you didn't take the kicker, that a few of those guys weren't already on your board.
Yeah.
I don't know who was going to take them in the second round, but you just
that Bill.
Hey, I'm just saying, like, you can't take that. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm just going to take this guy because somebody else is going to take him."
Nah.
If you're in the first round, I can't get over that. Like,
Yeah,
you can knock me for taking a 30-year-old kicker, but I took him in the 5th round. Was it 6th round? Yeah, I took a flyer, late round flyer, and he still was a 72. So.
Since we ain't got the bell, I'll do the ad-libs.
But overall, they had a great draft. They did. They hit every hole they needed between all of the trades. I think the Bulldogs were in every other trade we had as a trade committee this year, and with the draft. So I'm not going to say they didn't have a good draft. They had a killer draft, and they deserve this number 2 ranking. I'm surprised they weren't number 1. But that, to me, will never be okay. Not that a kicker is not needed, but it's just not okay. It's just never something that you do. There's too many other guys there that you could have taken. So that's my rant.
Let the church say amen, man. Let the church say amen. Look, man. Look, man. Look, first of all, man, so I'm gonna tell you, man, when he told me, oh, well, I heard the other coaches said they were gonna take Michael Floater, so I went ahead and got Michael Floater. Bro, you've been bamboozled. You've been had. You've been hornswoggled. I'm telling you, because that's the oldest trick in the book, man. Trying to get you to take a player that they know they're not gonna take, man.
Wow.
Two, man, you need 59 beatdowns. 59 bells. 59 dog pounds later, man. He done picked Floater too early. Way too early, man. Way too early. I was just shocked,
you
man.
Can say, ain't nothing you can say to combat that, man. I'm sorry.
I couldn't believe it.
And this is the excuse. In the first round.
Is a well, the stocks are going down, and oil prices are going up, and we just thought that Floater was the right way to go, because not all the
like
times you come across a kicker.
Obama voice on.
And you just knew that the NASDAQ was just going to go down, and we also knew that the stock on London Bulldogs, it's just going to go down even further. And we just thought, hey, let's go ahead and let's sign Michael Floater.
Told me they were going to
59-yard field goals when we're down
kicker
in games.
So I just drafted.
You got a new stimulus. Coming, and it's going to be late. And we just thought Floater would just be really, really great. That's what we thought. And, it is what it is.
Yeah, so I got a message from Mitchell O'Brien, and he said he was going to take Michael Floater.
Yeah, and you knew that was cap, because he took 59 linebackers, so he wasn't going to take Michael Floater. So that was just cap. So he got you to take the kicker, so he could take the other 59 linebackers in the draft.
You can't get past that, my guy. Got to air him out.
Boy, oh boy.
But that goes to show how good of a draft they had to have this kind of heat, but yet still be number 2 on the rankings.
Yeah. Would have been number 1 though.
That old political talk after that, man. I couldn't believe it, man.
The team that I felt had the best draft here in this year's draft was the Memphis Steamers. I felt like they found gems everywhere they possibly could, and they've just made this team younger and better and more prepared to be a dynasty, as we've been expecting them to be in the future. We knew he was going to try to get Cam Perkins, but hey, he wasn't there. Amir Williams got 1A or 1B. 77 overall, just an overall lower superstar dev, same dev. So off the rip, these guys just got themselves a starting running back because Myles Kerrigan is older, and they can use Myles Kerrigan for those power sets, and then everything else for Amir. I mean, this is going to be a dangerous team just with that pick alone. He goes and gets a very slept-on cornerback. I don't think he was slept on after the combine results dropped, though. So Babadook, once he got his combine results out there, still surprised he kind of fell. But hey, Steamers still with this, and remind you why they got this too. They were at the 27th pick in each round, and they were finding these guys. And and once again, Justin Jones, he finds another gem with Babadook, 71 overall. He goes and gets T.D. Leckram, solid outside linebacker from Michigan. Kurt Peterson, quarterback who we already know, star dev coming out 67 overall. A developmental guy, it's going to take some time, but hey, we saw what Kurt Peterson can do at a smaller school. You never know. He could be the future for the Memphis Steamers after Reed Wagner. Then you go in a later round. If this was this a 5th round, finds DeForest King, 71 overall, free safety. Then
that's the one he stole from Bill. Is that the one he stole from you, Bill? DeForest King?
DeForest King?
Was it the DeForest King? Did he steal that from Bill?
Nope. It was Babadook.
Babadook he stole from me. Yeah.
And then he goes and gets a punter, which of course was not part of the college series. Zach Hancock, 70 overall punter, so he gets a solid punter. And then average pick there, the 6th in the 7th round with Isaiah Sanborn. I believe he came from Wisconsin. But yeah, so if you look at this draft, like they hit it on the head every time, finding gems. And what's so great about this team and what makes the Steamers so dangerous is that every year that Justin Jones has been in the RFL, he's one of the youngest coaches, if not the youngest coach.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, the youngest coach in the RFL. And he has killed every single draft that he's been a part of. And like, I mean, this was another great one in the books here for him. That's making this team that was once before he got there winless, now one of the young stud teams here in the RFL. That's just amazing, well deserving of the best draft in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know, I already know what some are gonna say. You know, you got this number 1 rating, but if you look at the number 2 team, look at all the overall difference. These overalls are not as good as the last couple of teams. But what you also got to take into account is
What they have.
where they picked.
Mhm.
This team was picking at the back end of every single round. 26 teams got to pick before them every single round, and they were still able to get a 77 overall running back. You can pick which one you like as your favorite, and I don't think there's anything that you could. There isn't like an argument that can be had to say that one or the other isn't the best back in the series. If you have an argument for Amir being the best, there isn't enough evidence there to back up the claim that he's not. Same for Perkins. They're just, who do you like more personally? And then come and get Babadook, who was the combine star child, 6'4" corner. Come back to get TD Leckram. Then you get Kurt Peterson, who I'm going to be honest, Smitty, I was really shocked at how he came out with his rating, with what you gave him. I thought you were going to make this poor guy a 58 overall. I'm going to just be straight up with you. I thought he was going to be.
We had some arguments, man. We had some late night arguments about KP. Hey,
Yeah.
KP, we was fighting for you, man. I was in office fighting for you. Real talk.
Then gets
see,
DeForest King.
Just to get on
come
that,
back,
to
get
say,
the punter. But yeah, go ahead.
What I will say about that, like, is y'all know I ain't gonna tell you. So like, I always knew that like I was gonna make him decent, but like when y'all was arguing about it, I like doing that so you guys really don't know what's gonna happen when it comes out there. But you can't sit there and look at Kurt Peterson and say that this dude was not a stud. But
you told us that for like 3 months.
Yeah, I told you that.
I was worried about KP. I thought he was going to do my boy
but
KP
he's not gonna
in,
come
man.
out. That's what I'm
Thought
saying.
you was going to whack him, Smitty.
Nah, I wasn't gonna do it like that. I mean, you can't deny what you've been seeing. That's why I said for coaches, like for most coaches that miss on this draft, what I need you to do next year, watch the film. Like, come on, man. All you got to do is watch the game. Some of these coaches, I'm gonna air you out again. Some of you guys did not scout, and I know you did. Step your game up, because, like I said, if that happens and your team's failing, you can be out of here. Like, y'all need to. This is what it is. You decided to be a coach here. This is what a coach needs to do. You need to scout. You need to do all this stuff. And I've seen a lot of. That's why we've seen a lot of players fall. You know, we've seen a lot of players fall. But this really pertains to Kurt Peterson because, like I said, he may have been on a smaller school, but if you watch the tape on this guy, he was deserving of having that star development and the 67 overall rating coming out, equivalent to James Ramos.
And we did argue about that, Cash. That was the main thing, man. KP, them fumbleitis hands, boy.
Yeah.
Those things almost got you in trouble, man. But I was in the office like, man, look. It's because he carried the ball so much, guys. You know, he got 1,000 yards. I was fighting for you. I was using every single argument in the book, man.
We sort of tried to do a discount on that just because we knew 20 and 21 were really bad with quarterback fumbles. No matter what happened.
But he did have like double the. And you have to get one point. He had more than JTA. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Yeah, he was up there.
I think the oldest coach we got in the league is Tor, ain't it?
Tor's the oldest coach, yeah.
Yeah, Tor, I'm sorry. He was the first. He's the longest lasting coach too here in the RFL for the Orlando Sentinels. But go ahead, Rob. I didn't mean to cut you off. Oh
no, that's all good. Steamers had a really good draft considering the position they're in. I think I favor the Miners, man, a little bit more. But regardless though, I like what Jones did. You got to take into account what Bill said, where they picked in the draft, but you also have to take into account as well what the Steamers have and what they've just added.
Yeah.
If you ain't been following the Steamers, man, and now they got Amir Williams, they got Babadook out here, they got TD Leckram out here, man. You got I'm not even gonna put KP. We already know KP. You're gonna develop, you're gonna progress. You got a chance to come up. But man, DeForest King, man, he just added some killers. Can I say killers?
Yeah,
I think you can say that, right? Yeah, you can say killers. Yeah. He just added some. He added some. I just want to make sure, man. I gotta make sure, guys. Gotta make sure.
Because then you throw something out and don't ask, and we be like, "Yo, what you say
I'm not saying go kill nobody."
I already said killer on this live stream.
Okay, good.
You say you about to.
I didn't even ask
how
that's
different.
I am.
But But yeah, that is it on what we had to cover in terms of. I knew that would take the length. This is beyond the length of what we usually go.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
great. We needed this recap because this went in depth for letting people know who's coming in to learn more about the teams, everything like that. So that is the main topic that we had to go on. And so the other is just things we're going to talk about. We don't have graphics on, and it'll be pretty much short and quick. Did the draft grades, and now talking about the upcoming college series. Right now, the stage we are in is Rob is putting the teams in for us to get them in franchise, so that way we can actually be on franchise instead of play now right now. Anything you want to tell them, like where you at, like specifically? And
I just
everything
want
like
to put. I guess more of a reach out, man. I know JP is away right now. I'm not sure if there's anybody that's listening, man. If there's somebody that's listening that understands how to swap teams in the PC mod on 20, if you know how to swap the teams out from the back end of the D105 mod, and we want to swap in 6 teams, we got to swap in, man, into place the main teams on the roster. If you understand how to do that on the on any of that stuff, and you're there, you're listening, you're lurking, or you think you know somebody knows how to do that, man, please reach out to me. I'm not gonna go into the whole ordeal, man. Maybe you already know how it is. You try to get information, man, in some of these channels. They're supposed to be helpful, man. It's nerve wracking, man. So that's the only thing I'm kind of hitting a roadblock right now with. And I'm trying my best to figure out how to do it, but there's some things I just don't understand. But if you know anybody or know of somebody, man, please, man, reach out to me, and we'll try to figure it out. But other than that, we just got to get those teams swapped out, and then we can begin putting the rookies on the rosters and get it ready for the franchise mode.
Yeah, so it's going to be it's a lot of work, because once we get that done, I don't think once you learn it, it's not too much to switch them, because it's only 6 teams, and we'll just make sure everything's tight in the franchise so we can have it there this year. But the part that's going to be lengthy is like the rosters being built, because like we said, we're not trying to go with real life college players anymore. So they will be all generic,
Taking them all out of the game.
They're all out of the game now. You ain't gonna see Henry Ruggs playing for McCall and all that anymore. So yeah, so that's where we are with the college series, from what you can see there. The next topic we got is future content in the RFL channel. So the draft is over. It's time. It's a break period. And we want to make sure we're getting content on the channel for you guys, so it's not just nothing going on and then activity dies. So what we're going to be doing is a couple things we're about to be doing during this off period for content. For one, I got a video group. Shout out to Lito Loso, Beazle, all those guys who were part of that, who will be dropping RFL highlights for like star players this past season, like Gino Gannon, Drake Roel, all the star guys who made something happen this year. They'll be dropping the fire highlight tape, and they're working on that. We're going to try to see if we could get at least 3 a week for you guys. And Lito, like, beast highlight tape maker, man. So just know there's going to be some heat coming out. And on top of that, just to fill in more space, idea that I got is, let's kind of integrate this a little bit more. We don't really integrate things with the NFL when it comes to RFL, but what I will integrate is, since it's the off season, if you guys have been, familiar with me in the RFL channel before, when we had spells like this and we did like things like what if Jabri Jackson was in the NFL and things like that, what we're going to be doing is I'm actually going to put this draft class, this same exact class, and see, if it were in the NFL, in this past draft of the NFL, where would our guys go and how good would they be? So I would probably put a poll out there for you guys to vote on. Do you want it to be simulated? Do you want some things to be played through? Things like that. So it's a lot of things we could do with that. So like, it would be like Daryl Johnson on the Colts and stuff like that. It'll be the whole class, but it'll be simulated to just see where they would go.
Colts?
I see the Colts picking them up most likely. I did it one time just to see where they would land. He did land on the Colts, but we'll see. Yeah, so we'll see. That's something I plan on doing. I think those are the 2 main ideas that I have right now for the off season that we're currently in, with no big events going on. So stay tuned for all of that. That should be very interesting. I thought there was probably one more thing, but I believe that's the 2 main things, just that and the highlights. 'Cause honestly, it's not too much. I'll be moving to Florida. I'm moving to Florida next month, like within 2 weeks. So it's a lot I got to work on. That'll be something that I work on. The highlights will be dropping. Trying to think. Yeah. So I think that's about it right there. Yeah. So I probably only can work on that series. Could probably only work on that series. And then other thing, matter of fact, I think I have a note. I know I'm all over the place, but I think I do have a note on some other things here. Okay. So some ideas for the future. I'm not saying it's going to happen now. Of course, the what if RFL prospects were in the NFL series that I just talked about. Okay. Which Reload Bowl championship team was the best? So, like, I could probably do something where if I got time, when Madden 22 drops, I have a poll out on which 2 teams that y'all felt were the best Reload Bowl championship teams. Build that and just have them play each other as a what if game. That's something we could do at off season. I got would the RFL's undefeated Georgia team win a national championship in real life? Not sure.
Smitty, you think we could do something where like we put so we have the draft, right?
Uh-huh.
We put all the coaches in the foul, and we have the podcast with the coaches who are going to participate, and let them all declare a team. You simulate the draft, and then they get to would you get like 3 minutes per advance. They get to put a game plan in real quick, and we just assemble a simulation through one season, and we do that over a podcast, right? See who can coach themselves up the quickest, who can coach a team up to make it to the Super Bowl or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and go through that.
Yeah, that could be something, because then it'll be like
we all be in a call.
Only thing, most guys won't be starting, you know what I mean? Because
but the coaches, but for real, honestly, we could just make it to where we do it, and the coaches, if they got to put the RFL guys in, and
I think that would be. I feel like it would be great to actually have the NFL dudes with it because it's part of that series.
Well, how about you can mix it in. You can mix it in, but it would just be cool to see though if we could get the coaches into one call.
Yeah.
And then, however many it is, it was 15, 20, whatever, we're in there and, just simulate it. You have to get 3 minutes to set your game plan, or 5 minutes or whatever each round. And we're live. You know what I mean? You advance and you look through the wins and losses each week and you advance, maybe that could.
The thing about it is like I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that you can change a game plan up in the game. But if it's not actually being played and you're simulating it and not playing it, it doesn't matter what your game plan is. Like it won't really run with like what you put in there. Like
if we did the training, the playbooks and stuff.
Even if you did that, I think that it still gets simmed. He said like if we were to sim games like with coaches to jump in the NFL series and you sim the game would just get simmed, but I don't think their input of what you did with the playbook really gets factored into that. They'll just still, you know what I mean?
In the sim itself?
In the sim itself.
On the sim game. You mean
I don't think it does. No.
Yeah, I don't think it gets factored. So that's why I said like it might have to be like a actual something where maybe, or how about this? We can have the coaches we can have a user thing happen, but you have to play as an RFL player for that team and only stick to that player.
Yeah.
So, like, say, for instance, if the Colts did get drafted to if Daryl Johnson did get drafted to the Colts thing again, like, Bill would have to be Daryl Johnson on the Colts, and he can't play as nobody else. He's got to be a user player.
MVP.
As Colts. Yeah, MVP.
Is he going to user that, though?
Yeah, he's going to user it.
MVP. Done.
Like, you know what I mean? And then each coach or each player would actually have a user, like but you are only the player. You can't do anything else. It's because it's a what if scenario. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can be a defensive lineman.
We get our player off our team, man.
Yeah, you can do that. You want to be CP?
Off our team. Yeah, I'll be CP. R2, baby.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. I guess what I could do is like each coach got first dibs on whatever player that they drafted. And if they want to go somewhere else, then if it's left over, then you can take them. And then whoever that player is will automatically start at that position for the team. So that way the whole team will be there. And then the coaches will play each other.
That'd be dope.
That sounds like something. So I mean, of course, as users know it's different, but I think sometimes you need to add that, especially in this period of the RFL where we got nothing going on. I think it's the best time to
Yeah.
add some different things like that. Of
Mhm.
course, we'll never do user play in the RFL period or nothing like
Yeah.
that. But this is the best time to do some of that, and then also see who got the user stick skills, man. Because I got a
Oh,
feeling some of y'all
they're gonna
trash.
bring me back. They're gonna bring me
I
back to my
feeling
old
some of y'all
ways, man.
boys trash on
Hey,
the sticks. We're
have
gonna
you
see.
have you considered for trying to fill some dead air, especially since we have a lot of guys who are new to the RFL aspect, maybe just caught on with the college series last year or this year, maybe doing like videos breaking down each division in the RFL, like
Yeah, see,
team wise.
that'll take a minute. Like, because it would have to be something in depth for each division. I've thought about that for a few years now, to be honest. But that's
And
something
even
you
if
gonna
it's
have
not
to
just to fill time, I feel like it would be a really good informational piece to have on the channel for guys,
just
especially
really
for the new
having.
guys.
Yeah, I understand. It's a lot. You can't just put any video out there. It's got to explain
Yeah.
everything in depth. You got to take your time with it, and especially since we're building the college series, it's not a lot of time that we really have to do that unless somebody else is able to do it. But even then, it's different when you're not the one hands on with it. So that's something I want to do, but we'll have to see. But those are things in the future that we have planned out that we're going to try to do right now. So during this off season. So that's it for that. And then we got one more thing. We're going to do a fun facts with Pat thing, but we'll make this announcement. This will be the last time. Oh, this is the last time we're going to give out reloads for the fun facts with Pat because I just want to drop, since he's been drafted, I want him to have to earn it, and just the same way everybody else does. But if he wants to still continue to do fun facts for Pat for fun towards the end, then we can do that. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna talk about something that towards the end. So let's go ahead and start off with this. So Jermaine Taylor was the highest rated player in the RFL Season 7 draft, 80 overall. Who tied for the highest player rating in the Season 6 draft last year with an 84? Oh, don't say nothing, Rob.
Oh, my bad.
He's about to answer that.
Rob always trying to just
Okay.
He's always
these
about to answer
questions.
that, John.
My bad.
He's just like,
guys.
oh yeah, I know this answer. Let me just slide on in
Yeah.
here with this one.
Y'all already know who it was, man. Y'all know who it was.
Yeah, well, we do.
Oh yeah, they.
All right, I will at least say this: it's more than one player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need 2 players here, people.
Well, everybody always think it's because I'm about to say.
I'm
It's
sure
just,
you put them together too. I think was D'Lo the first to say Keith and Drew?
Yeah,
think
he was
so.
the first person to say 2 of anything.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. That was the answer. Drew Brewer went to the Bulldogs and Marquise Watson to the Aviators. Both were 84 overalls coming out of last year's draft. So what we'll do there is we'll give we'll do 500 reloads for each questions there. We'll give Pat 250 for somebody answers it. So Pat gets 250 and D'Lo gets 500.
Man, you pull the carpet out from under him, and then you don't even pay him out the normal stuff.
I'd usually do like 500 to stack sometimes.
Do 500 per question usually.
It depends on the question though, because I feel like this one was a little too easy.
You said 500 for D'Lo, and then 7,000 for Pat.
I said nothing of the sort.
I
500
swear
for
to God,
Pat.
that's what you said.
500. Oh no, 500 for D'Lo and then 250 for Pat.
Oh, hilarious.
All right, so next question. We have there were no shutouts in RFL season 6. Which franchise lost its first ever RFL regular season game in a shutout? Now this I'll give 1,000 if somebody gets this right.
Oh, was this? Wait.
Chill.
Oh, I know who this was, man. This was. think I know who this was, man.
Okay, so let's see who we got for guests. We got Aviators, Celtic Tigers, Steamers, Thunderbirds, Tigers, Armadillos, Huskies,
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Condors, Bulldogs,
Nope.
Steamers. I think that was already
Oh,
said. Yeah.
mine's wrong.
Bulls, Pioneers, Gunners, Crusaders. Somebody's got to get it. Black Knights.
30 seconds.
Oh,
Randy Orton.
dang. I was messing around so much, I actually did give Pat 500 on accident. Let me change that real quick. Wizards, Bisons, Marshals, Barons, Randy Orton. I like that answer.
10,
OKC,
9, 8,
Tigers,
7,
Conquistadors, Voyagers,
6,
Dreadnoughts, Explorers.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Yeah.
1. Kobe Bryant. It's like, nah. It's London Monarchs, man. London Monarchs, they lost 29-0 to the Barons in season 2, week 1.
Yo, how did none of y'all guess
Nobody
the
said
Monarchs? You guys got like Relo winning teams up here, but not the Monarchs? What is going on here?
And so Pat gets the stack on that.
Pat gets 1,000?
Mm-hmm.
Don't mind if I do.
All right. And the last one. Daryl Johnson was the first player picked in the Season 7 RFL draft. What's the earliest a linebacker has ever been selected in the RFL draft? I'll give somebody a stack for this as well.
Why does questions be like this, man?
CP said Jacob Reed.
And he's correct. Jacob Reed it is. Jacob Reed was the earliest linebacker, 3rd overall, going to the Condors. There you go, Rob.
Yeah, do you
Your
not
boy
like the
got
question
it.
to be like that? It helps your guy, man.
Why he ask questions like that though? It's like he throw you off.
What do you mean?
He said Daryl Johnson was the first player picked in the Season 7 Hartfield draft. What do that got to do with
The linebacker.
this? One of them SAT. This one of them SAT questions, man. This one of them SAT questions,
I get
man.
what you're saying.
It'd be like, shoe is to sock, as fishing pole is to, and you be like, what? And the answers are real, bait, hook, worm. And you bubble all of them.
You up there thinking quarterback and linebacker
Right.
come out of nowhere. Oh,
And the answer is bobber, because you slide a bobber onto the wire like you slide a sock onto your foot. See what I'm saying? That's an
How
SAT
much,
question, Pat. It's over for these fun facts with Pat, man. No more reloads. So
How much are we paying out here?
huh?
How much am I paying out
Stack.
to CP, right?
Yep.
All right.
All right, so that is the last thing. And before we roll out of here, we got a big announcement. We have landed a new sponsorship, and we are now partnered up with Raise Energy. And I will be posting this on social media. We got our promo code, as you can see right there, RFL Raise. Use that. Visit this website right here. You can see at the bottom. Actually, I would say, wait, I'm about to post and use this. You use our link for you guys to use on Instagram. So you can click that link and they'll take you straight to, for us. And you can see there, these guys got a plethora of flavors. See there, strawberry. There's 3 of them. They got, rainbow, all types of stuff. I can't wait to promote it some more. I actually ordered quite a bit to come through just so I can, be able to use actual versions of it. And since we got cameras now, we can promote it in our videos. Might even send some out to Rob and them. It's just so they can also be able to promote it as well. So shout out to Raise for, allowing us to be their ambassadors. And once again, hey, go ahead, get yourself a good energy drink. No sugar. You can see right there, 0 sugar. RFL Raise. Put in the promo code and get yourself started with them today with the best energy drink on the planet. I know somebody's probably going to kill me talking about some Bang, but hey, we're not sponsored by those guys. But that's it for us. We appreciate you guys coming through. And as always, we're going to adjust this some more and make this, a little bit more bigger and then do something with that box over there and everything. But appreciate you guys sticking through with us for this lengthy podcast. And until next time, we'll see you guys. Peace.